The following is a CBC Sports presentation.
For the New York Islanders in their must-win game against Montreal on Saturday, Greg Gilbert was the game's #1 star. Gilbert scored twice. This was a beauty. Midway through the second period, Gilbert struck again, and that was all for Steve Penny, who left the Montreal goal. But Penny's back tonight. So is Gilbert. So are you, and so are we. Game 4 coming right up.
Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Molson Breweries, brewers of Molson Canadiens, bringing you the finest in hockey broadcasting for over 25 years. Canadian Tire. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires. Telecom Canada, your communications lifeline. Esso, you make us better. And by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one. Driving is believing.
Don't give up the fight. Gotta keep on going with all your might. Try hard, don't stop. Gotta keep on giving it all you got. Never give up, never say die. Believe it, I can reach the top. Gotta give it a shot. Don't say no. Gotta get in the flow. So high, so seek. Don't run away. Get back on your feet. Get out. Get up. Get on. Get moving out.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Brian McFarland, your host for tonight's important playoff game between the Montreal Canadiens and the New York Islanders. And just as Billy Smith's name is synonymous with playoff hockey excellence, so is the name Montreal Canadiens, the famous red, white, and blue colors with the intriguing CH on the front, representing 20 Stanley Cups over the years, 54 years in the playoffs, and 5 consecutive Stanley Cups back in the 50s.
The players in the red sweaters here on Saturday night, the Montreal Canadiens, found themselves in a position that they haven't been in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They were trailing by a large margin, but they didn't change their game plan. And I don't think they're going to change their game plan tonight. There wasn't any panic in the ranks when the Canadiens were beaten Saturday night by the Islanders. And here this evening, they are going to continue playing the same kind of hockey that has got them where they are tonight. The same kind that they have been playing very successfully in the playoffs since the 5th of April. And so this evening, nothing much new from the Montreal Canadiens. They are going to stick to what has been so far in the playoffs a very successful game plan. We'll see what the Islanders can do about it this time around.
Well, one thing we know, Dick, the Montreal Canadiens have a 1-game lead in the series with Game 4 about to get underway. The New York Islanders have a much shorter hockey history, but it's still a rich one. 4 consecutive Stanley Cups in their 12-year heritage. And their white, blue, and orange colors are symbolic of the NHL's winningest team in recent years. They've come a long way since they lost 60 games in their first year of operation.
If I was wearing this sweater tonight, I'd be a member of a very confident hockey club. In Game 3, we finally played our style. We went right after the Canadiens, forechecked them, caused turnovers, and were very aggressive in our hitting. Coach Al Arbour, he broke up a combination of Bossy and Trottier, moved them to different lines. They responded with their best games. Also, Dennis Potvin moved the puck a lot better. But we have to again penetrate and go after Steve Penny, try to get those goals early. But I'm very confident that after tonight, the series will move back to Montreal, tied at 2 games apiece.
While only a privileged few get to wear these famous sweaters, those who do are acutely aware of team tradition and pride. 2 traits very much in evidence throughout this series. So it's challenger against champion as we get set for this Stanley Cup playoff game, which begins in a moment.
Looking good, Slocum. Wish my sales were. Gotta keep in shape to pound the pavement these days.
Oh, not with 800 service. Now my customers can call me toll-free. No runaround, and you can pump up sales without pounding the pavement. It's all an 800 service. Today's way to operate. Just call toll-free 1-800-361-3050 for a free copy. 800 service. The shape of things to come.
800 service. Today's way to operate.
Introducing a great new addition to the land of Dairy Queen. New Queen's Choice Hard Ice Cream. There's luscious strawberry, rich chocolate, and many more of your favorite flavors in the most wonderfully rich premium quality hard ice cream. Queen's Choice Ice Cream at participating Dairy Queen stores now.
In the land of Dairy Queen, we treat you right. And you want to travel with her.
A sensual music video fantasy. Leonard Cohen's I Am a Hotel, Monday.
Game 4 in the other series, Edmonton and Minnesota, takes place in Minnesota tonight. We'll bring you highlights throughout the game here, and hopefully we'll be able to go to Minnesota because that's a deciding game in the series after our game tonight. Howie, what do you expect tonight in this hockey game?
Well, guaranteed the Montreal Canadiens are going to be a lot tougher than they were the other night, and I think all 18 guys, not 14, are going to come to play.
Okay, the young goaltender, Steve Penny, taken out of the game the other night. Has he made a successful recovery, do you think?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. He's technically a pretty sound goaltender. He stands up, he lets the puck hit him. I think the key there is the fact that he has to challenge just a little bit quicker, and then certainly his forwards and defense have to come back and pick up those loose pucks. If they do that, piece of cake.
Al Arbour surprised some people by breaking up Trottier and Bossy, one of the dynamic combinations in the league this year. What do you think his game plan is tonight involving those two players?
Well, if you're going to play them as much as he's been playing them, 35, 40 minutes a game, you may as well break them up. Both of them have great talent. Both of them are great team people, and they can play with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. It really doesn't matter. They complement each other. They probably play the best when they're with each other. But with anybody else on the team, they're a tremendous offensive and defensive threat, particularly that Trottier the other night. He was punishing, and that's what I think the Islanders are going to have to do tonight. Reestablish their physical game, play her tough, and try to get the Canadiens to back down a little bit. But I'll tell you something, I don't think Montreal's going to back down. We could see a heck of a tough game here tonight.
A lot of Tom, Dick, and Harrys would like to play with Trottier and Bossy as well. Game 4 of the series about to get underway. Let's go to the booth.
The shower of balloons comes down again from the rafters at the Nassau Coliseum. We're in the broadcast booth. I'm Dick Irvin with Gary Dornhofer and Danny Gallivan as the teams are set right here for Game 4 of this Wales Conference Final Series. A veteran officiating staff, as is usually the case in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Bruce Hood, who has refereed more NHL games than anybody in NHL history, is the referee tonight. John D'Amico and Bob Hodges will be working the lines. The goaltender, Steve Penny, who was taken out halfway through the game here Saturday night, is back in, hoping to find his rookie playoff magic once more. And at the other end, starting in his 116th playoff game, a record tonight. Billy Smith, and here is Danny Gallivan, who's had more than 116 playoff games.
A few more. And behind the net is Green for Montreal up on the left wing, and the Canadiens are bumped on the boards by Trottier. Now on the left side, back it goes. Chouinard shovels a backhand low shot wide. The Islanders with Trottier, Tonelli, and Bossy out there. And now New York into the center ice area. That was a bad pass intended for Flatley. He jumped on the ice, and the Canadiens going to the attack. Tremblay botting there. There's going to be a penalty coming up here in the early stages after 37 seconds of play.
Pat Flatley nailed Mario Tremblay, against the glass in the Islanders zone. You see the signal by Bruce Hood. Gary, a quick penalty for the young rookie, elbowing.
Well, that's exactly what the Islanders were looking for, is to hit every jersey that is marked with a Canadian logo, and that's exactly what Flatley did. And by taking a penalty like that, Dick, what it does is give the Montreal Canadiens an opportunity of starting quickly and getting that first goal. I really believe that is vital for Montreal tonight.
On the power play in this series, the Canadiens are 3 for 13, 23% efficiency. Al Arbor started Mike Bossy and Brian Trottier together. Much discussed element of Saturday's game was the fact he split them up, but as soon as the puck was dropped to start the game, Bossy left the ice. Flatley took his place. He's now in the penalty box.
Montreal, everybody up for the face-off. The Islanders trying desperately to get it off. Smith has it. Into the corner it goes. Nyland trying to get it back at the point. Chelios. A short pass to Smith. Here is Smith. He'll take a look and get it back to Chelios. Gets it in front of Naslund to Smith. Here's Smith trying to jump it in front. It's high into the air it goes. And Robinson has got there to keep it into Smith. Here's Smith in the corner, setting it right out. There's a shot, and that hit Postgame. The shot was taken by Naslund. We're down to a minute and 22 seconds remaining in the penalty to Flatley. Chelios leading away, but 5 Canadians. The youngster is in over the line. He's playing with a lot of confidence. Naslund to Smith. Here is Smith trying to get it in front. He decides to hold on to it. Where will it go? And he gives it away, actually. He tried to get it to Robinson, and Gilbert intercepted and shot it down the ice. Both Arbor and Lemaire are making changes while the play goes on. And there are 48 seconds left in the penalty, and the Canadiens again with Chelios. He whipped it in there. There's big, tall, rangy Smith going in. In the corner area, Langevin was upended. Smith back to Chelios. Now Ludwig takes a low shot. It was wide. Canadians trying to get it in front. Naslund rolls it back near the line. Kept in there. Finally, the Islanders. Gilbert is coming down in over the line. Here's Sutter. And Sutter is stick-checked beautifully by Chelios. 10 seconds left in the penalty. Hunter has shot. And he's wide with it. There's no score in the hockey game. And it's starting at a fairly brisk pace. And that is attributable to the penalty to the New York Islanders, which now has expired. In there goes Johnson in his own zone to the left side. Pinelli's pass high off the stick over the glass.
So the Islanders successfully kill the penalty to this young man, Pat Flatley from Long Island. This is Stanley Cup 84 on CBC.
Ever notice how often cowboys crop up in advertising for jeans? I guess the theory is cowboys needed tough, rugged jeans. It makes sense to me, but when you live in the city, herding cattle isn't really a top priority. So I think I'll stick with GWG. They fit good, they look good. And isn't that what's important in a pair of jeans? Of course, just on the off chance that I'm wrong. Whoa, boy. Easy, big fella.
GWG, good jeans, real jeans.
A lot of stats on Billy Smith tonight, the 25th consecutive playoff start, but the big one, the record for goaltenders, game number 116.
The Islanders got it. There's a shot taken from inside the line by Hamel. We'll get to the Islanders' guide in a moment. There was a solid body-punching check by Turnbull on Pinelli.
Jacques Lemaire back of the Canadiens bench. Gary, would you think he has told his team be a little more physical?
Oh, you have to. That's exactly the way the Islanders started. I think you have to match hit for hit. This is such an important game for both teams, and you have to do it. There's a sacrifice to be made. Number one, Potvin comes out, squeezes the man out, and then watch this hit coming up by Turnbull. And stopped just short, but Pinelli did go on the seat of his pants.
The Islanders guide says that Billy Smith is the only active goalie who won the Stanley Cup. What do they mean by that? Didn't Melanson help to win it? Now the Islanders are coming in on that left side. Penalty against Montreal. Pinelli was upended. A weak shot by Trottier. And the Islanders will go on the power play.
So Rick Green goes to the penalty box, and New York gets its first power play opportunity.
Introducing telephones from General Electric, designed to deliver clear, natural sound. Constructed with gold-plated contacts for years of reliable performance. Engineered with sophisticated features like 9-number memory, one-touch redial, and emergency dialing. The remarkable new GE telephones. The quality rings true.
GE, we bring good things to life.
Hooking the call on Rick Green at 3:58. Canadiens in this series on the power play, 3 for 13, 23%.
Well, once Tonelli got a step on Rick Green, the hook was applied, and now the Islanders on the power play. They were very aggressive when they killed the penalty. Montreal has to do the same thing. Go right after the Islanders. Don't let them set up on the power play.
Let us see the alignment for the Islanders. They have Gillies on with Bossy, Trottier, Janssen, and of course Postgame. The ever big, impressive figure. Robinson was almost able to initiate a 2-on-1 break, then he couldn't take it. Through center, here's Gillies winding up for the shot. He's pucking from the net, and that's fired wide by Bossy. Here's Bossy trying to get in front of Gillies. There's a shot, and an enormous save by Penny. Now here's Johnson. That was a big save for Penny's confidence. Now the Islanders on the attack, back to Janssen. Janssen winds up this one. They score!
Well, as he did in Game 3, Thomas Janssen again gets things rolling for the New York Islanders. A couple of key things in this power play. Number one, Larry Robinson without a stick. Number two, Clark Gillies in front, setting up the screen. There you see Robinson running around without that stick. And Gillies, very difficult to move. Robinson can't move him out of there. Penny can't see the play. And Johnson tipped the shot low. The Islanders strike first.
By number 3, Thomas Johnson. And number 9, Clark Gillies. The final goal, 4-18. 4-18. Johnson has cleared the playoff from Trottier and Gillies. Power play goal at 4-18.
Gary, after Pearson was injured in Montreal, many of the Island supporters were very saddened. But there's nothing wrong with Janssen.
Good teams have a way of somebody picking up the slack, and Janssen is certainly doing that for the Islanders, Danny.
And so, the format of Saturday night so far is being followed, with the Islanders getting the first goal on the power play. And it is Morrow from the corner. There is Flatler. Hunter's just got a piece of him, and here's Boutelier hopping into the center ice area. Penalty coming up. Steve Shutt. Will it be?
So the Islanders have just cashed in on a power play. They get another chance. Steve Shutt goes to the penalty box.
Today's smart money. Do you know where it's going? It's coming to Continental Bank, where we use advanced new business and personal banking systems to make sure your money is always in action. Continental Bank of Canada. Bankers in action.
An uncharacteristic move by the Canadiens veteran left winger Steve Shutt, slashing the call at 4:45.
Robinson failed to clear it out. Back at the point for Gillies. There's the shot. And a rising bullet-like drive wide. There is Janssen back there with Gillies, Bossy, Postgame, and Trottier. We have Gainey and Sweenard. Carbonell. In over the line, Robinson is back on defense with Ludwig. A minute and 23 seconds the time left in the penalty to shot. Now the Islanders at center trying penetration. They can. Carbonneau cleared it down the ice. Back for it goes Potvin. So far, in the first 56 seconds of this penalty, the Canadiens defending well. Islanders now coming in, and it is offside. Here in Long Island today, sunny but very, very windy. And of course, wind has been a factor in many centers in the North American continent. I notice in Toronto, they had a game postponed because of wind. But now that we have the microphones open, we cannot guarantee you there will be an appreciable abatement in wind. That does not indict Gary and Dick. I'm just talking about myself.
What are you looking at us for when you say that?
Well, this gives you a pretty good idea of the Robinson situation without a stick and the job that Clark Gillies will do on the play. He just plants him there. Now, what's a goalie supposed to do? No chance on there, and also he's deep inside the crease. Puck just goes by him. Penny's got to come out and challenge, get right against the screen.
Now 5 Islanders at center. Potvin pass is blocked. Walter is up front with Naslund. Hamel on defense with Green for Montreal, and the Islanders formulating an attack from center. There's a right wing pass, scooting in on that right side, Bossy. Bossy getting it back. Now, Janssen over to Potvin, closing it. The shot, the rebound. They bang away on it. And Penny is down, and it's held up. And there's a slight skirmish right now, I don't think, and I hope that nothing further will develop.
Well, Gary, during the flurry just before the Janssen goal, Danny mentioned that a big save that Penny made would be good for his confidence. You and I were talking before the game. What Steve Penny needed in this game, we felt, as we agreed, after having been taken out the other night, but nothing's that serious, and he had a good attitude toward it all. He had to get into it early.
You're right, Dick, and it's important, you know, for confidence. I really believe you can lose it and gain it so quickly. There is another big save by Steve Penny. But it was interesting reading the newspapers after the third game. All of a sudden, Penny had all kinds of flaws. Short side through his legs, upstairs. First time that he's been beaten for more than 2 goals, and suddenly he's not a very capable goaltender.
Well, his best friend in Flint told the Calgary Reporter on Saturday that Penny has a weakness on the glove side. Now, if your friend tells that, supposing he had an enemy in Flint.
You don't need friends like that.
But I noticed at the workout this morning, the Islanders were practicing many shots on the short side. And the Canadiens, they were testing Penny on that glove side. There's a pass that hopped over Janssen's stick to the Canadiens bench.
And somebody on the Canadiens bench was cut by the puck. I believe Mario Tremblay, as Thomas Janssen had it go off his stick. He started the scoring, as Gary mentioned, in Game 3 Saturday. He's 24 years of age, just turned 24. Here's a look at our camera that's up in the nether regions here at the Nassau Coliseum to give you some interesting angles at various plays, such as Gary just described, the second or third, or was it fourth look we had at the Janssen goal.
A dozen seconds left in the penalty. Here's Chelios of the Islanders leading 1-0. Chelios is knocked away from the puck. And the Islanders struggling to get to center. Goodelier along the board. Shuttles back on the ice. And it is back into Islander territory. After this game, the series moves to Montreal for a game on Thursday night. Flatley laying it back into Goodelier. Morrow, a good feathery pass up on the right side to Flatley, a sharp angle shot. It goes off Green, and it's over the glass.
With the score, the New York Islanders 1, the Montreal Canadiens nothing. We'll return in just a moment.
Ahoy! Welcome to the Acme Brewery. Great to have you aboard. They say you spent 5 years with Molson Golden, but you learned a lot, huh?
Oh, yes, sir.
Like how they make the Golden so darn smooth.
Well,
if we had the secret, we could make our beer just as smooth. Tell me, boy, how did they do it?
I'm sorry, sir, I don't know.
You're fired.
How do they make Molson Golden so smooth?
Good question.
I hate them. I hate them.
And always casing. Al Arbor, the native of Sudbury, trying to get his team a 5th Stanley Cup in consecutive fashion. That would tie Toe Blake, who comes not exactly from Sudbury, he's from Coniston. But for the purpose of 5 consecutive Stanley Cups, we'll both blanket them as Sudbury. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I think it's, again, very important now that the Canadiens don't stray away from their game plan, and that's close checking. Remember in the first game here at Long Island, the Islanders had a lot of skating room between the two blue lines, and that's something that Serge Savard talked about the game. He said, number one, we got to get 18 guys playing good defensive hockey, and also not let the Islanders wind up and get that nice flow going. We have to get in front of them every opportunity.
The Islanders leading 1-0. This is the first period. 12:22 the time left. Smith is up, and it is going to be maybe a hooking penalty.
Well, Butch Goring, who draws about one penalty every 3 years, draws one right here. It's 1-0 New York.
How to build an expensive radial tire. You build it tough. So tough it meets or exceeds national brand specifications. You build it to last with a 5-year road hazard guarantee. In fact, you build a tire so good it can do something you might not have thought possible. It can replace one or all of the present radials in your car, no matter what brand they are. That's the way we build every Canadian Tire radial tire. It's everything an expensive tire should be, except expensive.
Butch Goring in 71 regular season games had 4 minor penalties. This is his first penalty of the playoffs. He's off 2 minutes for hooking at 7:40.
And a big opportunity for the Canadiens. Let us see now if they can cash in on it. They have Smith out there with Hunter, Naslund, Robinson, and Chelios.
One thing that the Canadiens have to do on this power play is the Islanders were very aggressive, especially with their top 2 forwards, playing close to the point man. That'll leave that middle open. I think they have to slide a pass in that middle just to close that box to allow the defenseman to get that shot from the point.
Robinson to Naslund. He quickly lost it. And Morrow cleared it down the ice. Robinson handing it off to Chelios. Canadians having difficulty getting their power play into operation because of the fine checking of the Islanders. Naslund getting it up on the right side. Chelios took an easy hit from Morrow. Now Chelios again swings it over on the left side. Here's Naslund getting it to Smith. Right in front. And it was cleared away by Brent Sutter. That was good back checking by Sutter. Robinson swinging out into the center ice area with Hunter, Smith, and Naslund cutting in on that left side. And the sharp angle shot came off the board and goes down the ice. A minute and 5 seconds. The time left in the penalty. Now Smith coming out with Mondeau. Smith, the big guy, coming in on the left side, giving it off to Turnbull. Turnbull lost it. Billy Carroll ahead to Gilbert with Johnson. And it is called on the offside.
Billy Carroll just a stride in ahead of the play. As you look at young Greg Gilbert, the scoring hero for the Islanders in Game 3. 2 official goals and one that everybody but the official scorer seemed to think he deflected in the first one of the hockey game. 46 seconds left in the Butch Goring penalty.
There's Gilbert. He's known as Greg from Mississauga. And of course, in a burst of originality, somebody said, let's call him Gibby. So he's known as Gibby Gilbert. And he's going to go to college this summer, looking for training in accountancy. There's Smith clearing it, but not out. Ludwig fed it. And it is Johnson shooting it inadvertently over the glass.
Gary, the Canadiens are into their second power play chance of the hockey game. They have just 1 shot on goal for the first 9 minutes and 10 seconds, almost the first half of the first period. So you're right on with the aggressiveness the Islanders are showing defensively.
Absolutely, Dick. And, you know, when you get the pressure in the Islander end of the ice, the puck's in the corner, you have to outnumber them. If the Islanders have had one man in there, you have to get two in the corner. If they have two, you have to get three. That's the only way that you're going to penetrate this power play and get possession of that puck. And then you need that quick movement, shots on net, and somebody in front. Oh, it sounds so easy, doesn't it?
Now here's Shutt with the pass, actually, that rolled in. We'll find out how easy when Howie Maker has that color straightaway. He does very well with it.
Yes. You know, there's no easy way to play the game. When you have a hard-hitting game, you have to pay the price. Believe me, you're going to get hit, and you have to respond by also making contact with the opposition.
And when the former member of the Philadelphia Flyers makes a statement of that nature, you better listen.
I've got the bruises to show.
You notice Richard Sevigny, the backup goaltender for Montreal again tonight. He was suspended the other night, and he was sitting out. Rick Wamsley got a chance to play the last half of the game.
The Islanders are leading in this game 1-0. There's Robinson. Will he shoot it? No, he gets it over on the other side to Green, who takes the shot. And that one off a body over the glass. So Canadians countering difficulty here, getting a goal on the power play. I interrupted you there, Dick. Go ahead.
I was just going to say another look at Richard, who missed his chance to play. Got a black eye. He's been a very combative young man. New enforcer in the Canadiens. Everybody's kidding him. And looking back to his episodes against the Nordics and then with Smith the other night in Montreal.
Now it's back to Robinson. He gives it to Green to Robinson. The shot. And that hit a player in front. I think it was Morrow. It hit him on the right leg, and the Canadians coming back in. Now there are 2 seconds left in the penalty, and the Islanders are going to get out of this one. And they're coming down to the attack and over the line with Sutter and Goring. Back edge up. Oh, what an outstanding play by Penny.
Now, Penny didn't look very sure of himself on that one, as he was actually backing into the net on the shot by Goring. It was from the backhand, not a hard shot. Whether he lost balance or uncertainty, who knows, but very fortunate to grab a hold of that one before it went over the goal line, Dick.
Gary, it's one of those plays where you kind of wondered at the moment it happened, was his glove back of the goal line if you were to draw a line up from the line to the top of the crossbar. Look at this. He was backing into the net, as you say. Boy, those backhands, though, they are tough to handle. Any goaltender will tell you that. Goring out of the penalty box and was at the right place at the right time to get in on the rush.
Islanders, everybody up, and a mail from Montreal to the right side to Hunter. He tried to chop it out. Goring is knocked to the ice by Ludwig. They struggle in behind the net. And let's see if Smith is going to get a whistle. Generally, they get it loose. Canadians with Hamel on the left side. Ahead to Gainey. His pass hit a stick. Here's Goring. Going in with Bossy and Youngson going in. Loose puck in front. And it was cleared away by Hamel. Gainey up on the left side. He knocked Goring to the ice. And that brought a reaction from these fans. There's a shot by Smith. And Smith of the Islanders getting a whistle.
Right after the Gainey-Goring incident, Clark Gillies nailed Bob Gainey with a solid check, and you see the two of them now had words as they stood beside the New York net, and they are still having words as the officials try to keep them apart and move them away from that scene. Well, that's what Big Gillies apparently wasn't doing too much of, Gary, during the season, but he's starting to make his very large presence felt. Down goes Goring now. Watch Gillies come in. Bang.
There's something about playoff hockey, Dick, that brings the best out of individuals. And again, we had mentioned before, Gillies did not have a good year, but has responded in the playoffs. And I guess if you're going to have a poor time, you better do it during the regular season and not in playoff.
I had to laugh when you and Clark were talking. We were in the hallway at the Forum before Game 1. You two were comparing notes about slumps and the mail that hockey players receive. And
I had my share.
It was...
Can't repeat on TV what was said in those letters. It was very complimentary.
You guys are pretty funny, I'll tell you.
That's something we can relate to.
Chelios laying up along with Robinson. There is a Janssen. Let's see what confrontation here brings the attention of the referee. Albert.
And Langevin has been hurt, Danny. He came back into the lineup after an absence having been injured in the Washington series. He was more or less forced into duty because of the Stefan Persson injury in this series. And now here early in this hockey game, watch number 26. Gary, what happens?
Well, there's that shoulder again. Nyland comes in and really lowers the boom, and we'll have to wait and get a medical report on Langevin, because he certainly isn't 100%.
Lining up for the face-off to the left of Smith. Islanders won and the Canadiens no score with 9:19 the time left in this first period. Chelios rammed it in there after it is gained even on the right side. It's Bossy. He's upended by Gainey. Carbonell couldn't hold it. A lead pass to Brent Sutter in over the line around the net, tying him up was Chelios, and Chelios cleared it on the boards to center. Deneen in action now with Langevin out. Now Carbonell over to Naslund. Naslund going in. He is upended. Penalty coming up. Canadiens taking a shot and rolls in there to Smith.
So the Islanders draw another penalty live on CBC. This is Stanley Cup '84.
What's this? Says here Super Lotto's having another bonus draw. Bonus prizes of $10,000. Is that possible? 500 of them. Do you believe that? Why, just anyone can go out and buy a Super Lotto ticket and win a $10,000 bonus prize. In fact, 500 anyones can win $10,000. Can you imagine? Anyone, $10,000 richer. Just like... Wake up, you two. Ah!
I think that time read 11:24. Greg Gilbert off for holding. The game between Minnesota and Edmonton just getting underway. We'll bring you scoring highlights from that game in Bloomington, and when this game is concluded, and if that one's still going on, we'll join it in progress.
And it is Lafleur on the right side on the power play. Naslund going to the corner along with Nyland and Goring. Shot it into the center ice area. Robinson turning now with Smith, Naslund, Nyland, and Lafleur broken up. Here's Goring. And he saw that he couldn't get a clear break. He cleared it over the other side to Carroll. Carroll playing it back to center, and it's gobbled up there by Nyland with Naslund. Drop pass, shot right on, rebound. And Potvin failed to clear it out. Now in on the corner board. Nyland still with it. It's picked up by Smith right on the front of Naslund. He didn't get much on that shot. And Smith covers up.
This is the third Montreal power play. They have not scored a power play goal in the hockey game. The Islanders have had 2 chances and scored the Janssen goal coming on their first try.
I think what's very important for the Montreal Canadiens, they have to get somebody in front of Billy Smith. They're avoiding the front of the net like the plague because I think they're worrying about the reputation of Billy Smith. You want to get him swinging. My goodness, you'll gladly take a little slash in the ankle if it's going to result in a goal. But as long as Smith can see it, he'll stop it. You have to start harassing him.
A minute and 15 seconds left in the Gilbert penalty. Canadiens Robinson going in for the shot. It was blocked. Now Robinson again. He whipped the shot in there right in front of the backhand shot. An enormous save by Smith. Oh, Billy Smith came up in marvelous fashion. Canadiens with their best scoring opportunity. There's Robinson shooting it in there again. Shot, you scores! Excellent pressure by the Canadiens, and finally they tie it up.
You know who the guy that started it all was? Number 20, Hunter. He finally was determined enough to get himself in front of that net, and Billy Smith had to make an excellent save. But let's watch the Canadiens on the power play getting that shot through from the point, and now Shuttle come in. just strip the puck from Potvin, and boom, we're tied.
You know, interestingly enough on this play, Smith made a couple of glove grabs along the ice. This time he made a stick save. See him just threw it. He throws the rebound right out.
What I like about that play there, Dick, is the Canadians have 3 men going for that loose puck in front of the net. That means you're hungry. And finally it pays off. But Hunter is the guy that's got it all going.
So Steve Shutt having an excellent playoff year, his 7th playoff goal this year.
A long shot by Nyland. Montreal now making changes. The score is tied at 1. Coming in on the right side is Bossy. Bossy trying to cut in front. Hamel stayed right with him and dumped him to the ice. We may have we got 2 penalties coming up here?
Canelli and Carbonneau were involved, and it would appear from the way Bruce Hood was waving and signaling they are both going to the penalty box, and that's exactly what happened. We've got a 1-1 hockey game. 7:07 left, first period.
Have you ever noticed that sometimes the best you can do is settle for second best? Now you won't have to with the new R-Series riding mower from John Deere. You see, they don't cost more than ordinary riders, but they're built with extraordinary features and first-class John Deere quality. So now, for the price of someone else's mower, you can have one of ours.
Down-to-earth values on now at participating John Deere dealers.
Now, Canadians starting out. Mondu at center with Gainey. In over the line, Mondu trying to hop in there, takes the shot. And it was blocked by Smith. We have Carbonneau off for roughing. And Tonelli off for roughing. The time, 12:53. Now chasing it to the right side is Captain Gainey in over the line. He takes a look. He lost it. It's recovered there. Here's Green. Green twisting and turning. At the line. Gainey has it knocked back into the center ice area. Bossy is on with Bossy up front for the Islanders. Canadians are now making changes. They have Naslin on. And Walters. Here's Goring in over the line, dropping it back to Gillies. There's their shot, and it was blocked by Green. That's something they were not doing too often on Saturday night, Gary. Blocking shots, but the Canadians are blocking a lot of them tonight. Right now, they are in possession with 5 minutes and 52 seconds left in the opening period. Robinson starting out with Naslin, who takes the pass. In over the line, Naslin. He's very nifty with that puck. Still has it, but that time he made a mistake. Goring was up penalty. Chelios is going. Is it Chelios going on?
Yes, it is. He doesn't like the call. The Canadians don't like the call.
I don't blame him.
Ooh, wait.
That's the best thing to a dive that I've ever seen.
Now, here it is. Now, the old television cliche, you be the judge. They call it hooking. Looked like pushing more than hooking. Chelios in the box. We have them. The teams are playing 5 aside to start with. Canadians did not like the call one little bit. And Chelios is now giving it to linesman Bob Hodges.
He's not the guy that called it, though.
He didn't make the call.
Well, again, folks, we have the benefit of a replay, but I don't know about that one.
So Jacques Lemaire calling over the 2 veterans and his 2 former teammates when he was a player. Larry Robinson and Bob Gainey, and now Hood telling Lemaire, get your act together and get your penalty killers on the ice. I don't think he's going to let Bobby Smith stay on. Lemaire wanted Smith out for the faceoff.
This is a situation that the Islanders relish, a 4-on-3, and look at the 4 guys that you can put out. Trottier and Bossy, the top 2 scorers in the hockey club, and then Potvin and Johnson on the point. Canadians will try to utilize that triangle. And if you want to watch puck movement and a setup, watch this Islander power play.
Now Bruce Hood holds things up as he skates over to the penalty timekeeper. Everything ticked off 1 second for some reason. on the clock. When the penalty was called, 30 seconds remained on the Tonelli-Carbonneau penalties. Now it shows 29 seconds there and a minute 59 on Chelios. There you see it. The 2-minute penalty to Chris Chelios hasn't started yet.
So we are ready. Face off to the left of Steve Penny. And now Hood is over there talking to Captain Gainey. Islanders, everybody up, and the Canadiens are going to get an opportunity to shoot it down the ice.
Sandy, I can tell you what happened. They delayed the start of the clock for a second to catch up for whatever mistake was made.
And now the Islanders pour them into the center ice area. Trottier over to Potvin. Potvin over the line. Blauski's away over on this side. Johnson to Potvin. Potvin getting set, shoots a big save. Here's Johnson. Johnson looking at Potvin. Johnson getting set. There's the shot. And he was just wide. Gainey chopping it down the ice. Now we have one player only. That is Chelios in the penalty box. With Carbonneau and Tonelli back in circulation. And we have a minute and 10 seconds left in the Chelios penalty. Islanders coming out, led by Johnson. He swings it on that left side. Along the boards, Robinson gets it and shoots it down the ice.
Canadiens doing an excellent job of standing up with that blue line. They're forcing the Islanders to shoot it in. The Islanders elect to carry it in. Consequently, the plays are broken up by Montreal.
Montreal again breaking it up, led this time by Noslin. Referee Bruce Hood ended up in on the penalty timekeeper. And the official PA announcer. Here's Robinson. Will he get an opportunity to clear it all the way out? No, it's along the boards, but he gets some assistance from Mondu. And we are down now to 22 seconds left in the Canadiens penalty. The Islanders won and the Canadiens won at the center and over the line. Gilbert. Brent Sutter is getting in front. Flatley is out there too. Knocked off Sutter's stick. That was a good play by Green. Now into the corner. The Islanders, Gilbert getting it back to the line to Potvin over on this side. Chelios is under the penalty box. Here's Carbonneau. And as soon as Chelios came out of the penalty box, he made a play on the left side at the Canadiens line on the Islander, who was getting ready to drill a shot toward the Canadiens net. Now Boudelier comes out on that left side with Gilbert. The Islanders shooting it in there. Green in there for Montreal. Can't clear it out of Rose right in front. Here's Boudelier shooting it, and it's blocked by Penny. Islanders almost took the lead there. The Islanders are buzzing around. They're trying to center it. Gilbert was knocked down here. Flatley shooting it, stopped by Penny to the other side. And Shutt fails to hit Hunter. But he was very happy to clear it out of the Canadian zone because that was rather substantial pressure by the Islanders. Now Boudelier again shooting it in. Robinson striding in there. Laying it over on the far side. Tonelli has it in the front. He shot! And a remarkable save by Penny on Goring. Here come the Canadiens. In over the line. That was the second gilt-edged scoring opportunity in this period for Goring, number 91 for the Islanders. We are down to 2 minutes and 12 seconds, the time remaining in the opening period. The score is tied at a goal. And this has been a hard-fought period of hockey. Robinson flattened his man Tonelli over on the other side. What a body check by Robinson.
I felt that one up here.
Let's see. Penalty for hooking.
Now the big bird in behind the play that time after the crunching check he threw it. John Tonelli. Here it is, Gary. Bring back memory.
You'll see Tonelli just trying to get by Naslin. Now watch this one. The stick goes flying up in the air. And that contact has been there all game. And then shortly afterwards, Robinson will get a penalty. And, you know, after each penalty, both teams have really complained quite a bit to referee Bruce Hood on the calls.
And there's the complaining after this one. Team captain Bob Gainey and the veteran referee Bruce Hood. Penalty happened behind the play. Goring was Robinson's victim. Chilios had the puck. Watch this. Down goes Butch. The hook on the arm just as the camera swung away. So with a minute 54 left in the period, the Islanders a man of the good.
You know, in their first power play opportunity, the Canadiens really didn't apply any pressure to the Islanders. They let them set up their power play and consequently got a goal scored against them. Since that time, they have been very aggressive in their forechecking and standing up at the blue line. They have to continue to do that.
And they'll have to do it, as you say, Gary, because the big guns out there for the Islanders. We have Trottier, Bossy, Gillies, Hockman, and Janssen. Now the Islanders on the power play, broken up at the line and then lugged in over the line by Bossy. Penny stopping it there. Right out in front it comes. Canadiens getting it finally. Bossy got all tied up. He was in too close and couldn't pick up that pass from Trottier. Minute and 20 seconds the time left in this, the opening period. The Canadiens won and the Islanders won. Coming out slowly, Janssen, who has been a tower of power on the power play. It's centered in front, loose puck to Gillies. He fired another shot. 2 saves there by Penny on Gillies and Bossy. 55 seconds left in the period. Islanders trying it again. Bossy is up at the line. He was straddling the line, reaching for the puck. Couldn't get it, otherwise he would have been home free had he been another half stride toward the far side at that line. Aslan Ford checking along with Mondu. Here's Bossy in on the right side. Brent Sutter is up there. Good work by Naslin. Now the Islanders again. 22 seconds left. Gilbert is in over the line. Canadiens taking charge, and they dump it down the ice. The Islanders will have to hustle to get another offensive thrust working before the end of the period. They're not going to do it, apparently. 5 seconds left, and that's going to be the end of the period.
Well, there's a lot of work for Carbonneau and Gainey because of all the penalties, but the key to that period was the ability of Penny to bounce back. He made a lot of scintillating saves.
Coming up in just a moment or two, a conversation. Brian McFarland chatting with NHL President John Ziegler. We'll have highlights from Game 3 of Edmonton, Minnesota, and Howie with his Stanley Cup playbook. So the score at the end of the first period, the Montreal Canadiens won, the New York Islanders won. Stay with us for our first intermission.
You're going, you're moving, you got to keep moving. Can't hold you back, you gotta bet you're on the go.
On the go. Cause you know you gotta show. You keep it moving, keep it grooving. You just can't take it slow. Together on the go. McDonald's and quarter-pounder large fries. McDonald's and icy Coke and apple pie. McDonald's and you.
Hi, I'm A.J. Gus Gervais, and it's manufacturing that makes the big difference. This Regal Empress Chinchilla jacket has the custom-made look because it is custom-made. You're invited to see the magnificent Gervais creations now in production in our factory at 762 Willette Avenue in Windsor, 2 blocks from the tunnel exit. Looking forward to waiting on you personally.
Allstate asks, are you burning money? What? Are you paying too much for car insurance?
Too much?
Because if you are, your money's going up in smoke.
Well, what should I do?
Get in touch with an Allstate agent. He has very competitive rates.
Really?
And special discounts to keep your costs under control.
Wow!
So call Allstate and make sure you get the best mileage from your car insurance dollars. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Coliseum, a lot of minor penalties in that first period. That means power play opportunities. Power play goals, one by the Islanders. Johnson, one by Schutt of Montreal, a 1-1 tie. We're here with John Ziegler, league president. And John, next on the agenda after the Stanley Cup playoffs, a big awards show on television, I understand. Tell us more about it.
Well, it's the first, as you know, Brian, on CBC.
We're going to celebrate the excellence in our league. You know, as I know, that all the other major professional sports leagues envy us with our trophies. And we're going to show this on a night, black tie special in Toronto, going to go across the Canadian network on television, and the Wayne Gretzky's and Langways and so on, and all the others who are vying for these trophies. For the first time in the history of our league, presenting those awards is going to be on coast-to-coast television, and I'm really excited about it and proud of the people who put together, and appreciate the sponsors and the CBC for backing this.
And you didn't give us the date.
Well, I believe it's June 4th.
Okay. Now, you talk about excellence in the league. You've certainly had excellence in the playoffs. I think of this series. I think of Montreal, Quebec, and Edmonton, and Calgary. There were so many good series, but there was some talk before the playoffs got underway about restructuring the playoffs again. What does the league president have to comment on that?
Well, anytime we can improve, we'll always look at it, but my question is always how can you do much better in the playoffs than we did last year when we sold 98% of all seats to sell? The first series is always a difficult series in many places to sell, and this year all I heard about is everybody kept talking about, geez, this series should have been the finals. Well, now, if you have 8 series going on and each one of their fans in those cities thinking this is the best hockey I've ever seen, from a business standpoint, I have to ask the question, and we'll ask of the owners, why do you want to change that?
Okay, that'll come up at the next meeting, I guess. Now, they've got a big hole in the ground in Hamilton, Ontario, and they got some cement in there, and they're building a big new arena. What are their chances of getting an NHL club in that area?
Well, I think, first of all, you should replace me with our friend Harold Ballard and ask him.
What would he say?
Well, I don't know what Harold would say. I mean, how do we ever know what Harold would say? Bless him. I think that wherever push came to shove, when it came right down to it, Harold would think in terms of the interest of hockey. He'd think of Canada, because he's a great Canadian citizen, and he would think in terms of the National Hockey League. He also has his own interest to protect, and ones that he's invested in, been concerned about, and grown. He also has a Hamilton interest, as we know, in a different sport, and I think that would have to enter into it. But as I say, Harold's got to answer the question first as to the people, and then we move into the question, which is a very difficult question for us, is a question of expansion.
We'll see you at the Ward's dinner, John. Thanks for telling us about it, and thanks for joining us in this intermission.
Brian, thank you very much.
1-1 tie between Montreal and the Islanders. Coming up next, a recap report on Game 3 in the Minnesota-Edmonton series. Our first intermission resumes in just a moment.
Goodbye, Dan.
Hello, Joe.
Chola Billy.
Bowl of chili.
Phil Dickel.
Dale Pickle.
And a model of Bolson Golden.
Gottle Bolson Mogan.
Morgan Golson.
Golson Mogan.
Molson Golson.
Moslin Golson.
The smooth one.
Ah, Golson Bolden.
Molson Golden. Smooth no matter how you say it.
Golson Molan.
When you buy a new car, you want to keep it looking new. And that's easy with Armor All Protectant. A scientific formula that took a polymer chemist 10 years to develop. It helps keep rubber, vinyl, leather, and plastic looking new. So even though you can't keep your car from getting old, you can keep it from looking old. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
Over the years, your changing fuel needs have caused changes in us.
Morning, Joe. Time for gasoline.
In 1939, Esso introduced their new premium.
Esso Extra, please.
With the post-war car boom, the need for gasoline grew. Then came lower-cost self-serve.
Fill her up.
Yes, sir.
Unleaded gasoline.
Premium unleaded, please.
Diesel. And down the road, propane and future fuels. Anticipating your needs makes us better.
You make us better, you do. Esso.
There's not much you can really learn about any car engine in just 30 seconds. But one car, the Mercury Topaz, has approached the concept of power somewhat differently. The very way fuel and air are ignited has been totally rethought. The result, smooth, responsive power. It's called high swirl combustion technology, and that technology delivers high fuel efficiency. and it's just one of Topaz's many advancements. Mercury Topaz. Driving is believing.
Fletcher, I don't need that report tomorrow.
Great, JT.
I need it tonight.
But, JT...
Fletcher saved $300 on her office away from the office. Radio Shack's revolutionary Model 100 computer. It's a word processor, phone directory, and dialer. It even communicates with the office computer.
Fletcher, how's that report? Fletcher.
Radio Shack's Model 100. Save $300 and put it to work.
You'll go far, Fletcher. You'll go far.
If you were told that a team had scored 6 unanswered goals to win a Stanley Cup playoff game 8-5 and were asked to fill in the blank, you would probably pick the Edmonton Oilers, and you would be right. In rare form, the Oilers came from behind, though trailing 5-2 at one point as Minnesota scored 4 power play goals, 3 while Dave Lumley served a spearing major. The Oilers had it all their way in the third period. They were down 5-3 going to the final frame, and then the comeback started. Paul Coffey to Yari Curry, and in one motion, the Oilers were back in it with a power play goal of their own, beating Don Beaupre cleanly. That was at 4:58 of the third period. At 6:06, Mark Messier charges across the Minnesota blue line. Nice drop pass to Glenn Anderson, and with Lars Lindgren going down and screening Don Beaupre, it's over his shoulder, and the game is tied. And then 59 seconds later, Kenny Linsman is left all alone in front of the Minnesota goal with all sorts of time to do as he wishes, and he scores the game winner. In 2 minutes, 7 seconds, the Oilers have come from a 5-3 deficit to a 6-5 lead. And then 2 shorthanded goals allow the Oilers to put it away. Mark Messier turns 2 Minnesota defensemen around the wrong way and tucks it in the far side, and it is 7-5, Messier's 4th point of the game. The final Edmonton goal was scored on a penalty shot. Wayne Gretzky had been hauled down by Gord Roberts on a breakaway. Nobody around to haul him down this time. And Gretzky on the penalty shot scores his 3rd point, and the Oilers win it 8-5. Chico Resch to analyze goaltending and other things for us in these Stanley Cup playoffs. Not perhaps the right game to talk about great goaltending. But when you see the Oilers on a night like this, you really do wonder whether anybody can beat them.
Well, certainly physically they're so imposing. And then I think the key to beating Edmonton is to have the mental presence of mind when they're really rolling. Just play it safe and try and weather the storm. You know they're going to have their moments, but don't just completely cave in and, as happened the other night, give them 5 goals. And I think maybe there's only one team that can do that.
Well, it's the team that did it last year. I think I'll read your mind. And the Oilers really do have the ability, I think, to take anybody else into their hip pocket. But what is it about the Islanders that you think can stop this Oilers team?
Well, I think they don't get paralyzed when things start going really crazy out there like the Oilers can do, you know, when they speed it up. And I think they've got a plan when they recognize that, which a lot of teams don't. They may recognize it, they don't know what to do about it. The Islanders will dump the puck out. They'll tie it up. They'll try to get whistles. They'll take a timeout, change goalies, anything to try and break that momentum. Whereas most teams, like I say, just get paralyzed and lose it.
First, the Islanders have to get past Montreal. Edmonton, without being unfair to Minnesota, looks as though it will go to the Stanley Cup final. Dave Hodge with Chico Resch reporting on the Oilers and the North Stars.
Game 4 is just underway in Minnesota. No score to report yet between the North Stars and the Oilers. The Oilers could wrap it up tonight, and because that's a deciding game, or it could be, we're going to bring you the conclusion of that game after our action finishes here on Long Island. Howie Meeker and his playbook is next. Our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs continues.
Set for a hot night in the town, kid?
Yes, now that I've had that rather nasty tear in my seat repaired.
Standard auto glass?
Who else can offer such friendly service? And they'll replace upholstery or install a sunroof in no time.
Looks good, kid.
Yes, Standard guarantees it every single job in writing.
Hey, what more could you ask for?
Well, you could fix me up with a nice little European model.
Too fast for you, kid.
Very funny.
A lot of people buy new homes for the looks. But the real story is
Styrofoam SM brand insulation replacing ordinary sheathing. It can't get wet and soggy, won't mildew or rot. It's strong, light, easy to use, and proven over 30 years, retaining its high insulation value inside, outside, and even underground for a lifetime of savings and improved resale value. But remember, if it doesn't say Styrofoam SM, it isn't.
IBM introduces PC Junior, a bright little addition to the family. Junior comes with bright computer ideas, like a keyboard that doesn't need a cord. You can get easy-to-use software like word processing, games and graphics your kids won't believe, plus a starting price you won't believe. And with easy-to-add options, Junior can grow up real fast. PC Junior, new from IBM.
Meet a banker whose only business is business. A new breed of banking specialist from Bank of Montreal. He's part of a new nationwide commercial banking network established to better meet business needs. Because commercial banking is his only business, he has in-depth knowledge of commercial banking needs. He also has a range of innovative ideas to help businesses grow. Meet a banker from Bank of Montreal. First bank for business, not just money, ideas.
Hey, Ron, what's happening? I don't know. It just won't start if it ever starts. Why don't you hit it with a hammer? Thanks. Why don't you just fill the back with dirt and plant flowers? Hey, nice idea.
You keep on getting together. You keep on having your fun.
We'll get it going tomorrow, okay?
See you later, guys.
Hey, I can do that.
It keeps on, keeps on, keeps on tasting great.
Hockey Night in Canada's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs continues Thursday night on CBC as the Canadiens and the Islanders travel back to the Forum in Montreal. They'll face off in Game 5 of the Wales Conference Final. Catch all the excitement of the NHL playoffs Thursday night on CBC as the Islanders meet Montreal, 7:30 Eastern Time. And now, Hockey Night in Canada playbook as Howie Meeker takes a look at a Montreal 2-on-1 situation in that hard-played, exciting first period of hockey. Howie?
Well, Brian, I'll tell you something, folks. That was just a tremendously tough period, but in amongst that tough hockey, there's all kinds of real skill and mental finesse. This, we'll see when this comes up here. It's a 1-on-2, and the guy says, holy jumping there, Terhasapets. I can't do anything with a 1-on-2. So he starts down in here with the puck. It's an Islander. He tries to get that defenseman attention, gets across the blue line, and goes this way. Now, what he wants to do is get that defenseman chasing him and this defenseman chasing him, and he'll create open ice here. Now, the second guy coming for the Islanders reads the situation immediately. Instead of coming down this way, he knows what his center man's going to do, and he cuts over in behind. But just watch how Ludwig and Chelio play this. They're not going to get caught at all. Just unbelievably good. There's the 1-on-2. This man here, watch, the defenseman will back up, and he'll come across in here, and this is a guy here that comes in behind. But the key here is just great defensive work by Ludwig and Chelios. All right, he'll get across the blue line. Chelios backs up, then stops. Now he cuts to his right and tries to get Chelios going, but he doesn't. There's the drop pass. Each defenseman, stop it. Look at there. Each defenseman picks up the man, Chelios comes up with the puck, let her go, and heads the other way. Just tremendous defensive work by the two Montreal defensemen.
Well, the Montreal defense has been strong throughout this series, and this kid, Chelios, really looks like a comer in the NHL.
Well, he certainly does. I'm impressed the way he can take that puck and gallop with it. We don't have too many defensemen around the country that can take it and go and have fun. All right, this is the power play, and again, it's creating open ice. The Canadiens have a small box lined up like this, and there are three Islanders in this position here, okay, along the boards. Now, there's no way in the world they can do anything constructive under this situation. Everybody's shut off. But Gillis has the puck here, and he comes in the middle. The box will shrink, and just watch, then they'll get it back to the point. Okay, now let's just let it go. If I can get those X's and O's off of there. There, we got her going. Where's the picture? Okay, I'll roll her from there. Let her go. There's the box. They're flooding the defensive zone. It'll go back into the corner. Now, that's Gillis with the puck. Stop it right there. Look at it. Everybody's checked. There is a chance of a pass through there, but that's not going to go by Robinson. It might there without the stick. Okay, let her go. They've shut off the point and everything else. Now, watch Gillis. Now, stop it there. Look at see how they've created the open ice out in here? That's what led to the goal. All these fellas come back. Look at the box now. Man, they're in trouble. Okay, let her go.
There's the pass. Look at Gillis in front of the net doing what he has to do, standing there screaming. The poor goalie has, hey, where'd it go?
Thank you, Howie. Let's go to the action. We go upstairs now.
Thank you, gentlemen. And as the second period begins, Larry Robinson of the Canadiens is in the penalty box. He has 6 seconds to serve. He went off for hooking at 18:06. It's a 1-1 tie. Yotson for the Islanders, Shutt for Montreal, the goal scorer.
And the Islanders now just have 2 seconds remaining on the power play. They shoot it in there. Robinson is out of the penalty box. It comes to the point. Potvin a shot. And it was wide. Now the Islanders keeping it in. Over on the other side, there's a shot. And again, Potvin was stopped by Penny. And it's over the glass. While the Islanders, of course, were elated with the 5-2 victory on Saturday night, the glow and the glory of that victory faded quickly in the face of reality. As Trottier said today, he said that victory on Saturday night fades into insignificance if we do not win tonight. And he said, I say that because if we lose tonight and we go into their building down 3-1 on Thursday, we're up against it. You agree with that, Mr. Dornhoff? There's Boudelier taking a shot. A low drive, but was gloved easily by Penny. Forechecking Goring, along with Dwayne and Gillies, and the Canadiens starting out on a slap shot to the corner by Tremblay. Here is Moore. Moore looking at Gillies. He fires it in there. Gillies going in. Back pass is loose in front, and the Canadiens clear it. Canadiens have been clearing in front of Penny much more effectively tonight, Gary.
Well, you don't want to give up that second shot, and everybody seems to be in position. They're playing with a lot more discipline than they did the last game.
Here is Goring centering it, and that was actually a giveaway with Smith. Picking it off and clearing it to center. Boudelier firing it ahead, and it's over the glass. We've played 1 minute and 15 seconds into the second period. Each team with a goal.
Well, there is Mark Hunter. As Gary mentioned, he was the player who started the play that led to the Montreal goal by Steve Shutt. He missed 58 regular season games with that recurring knee injury of his, an injury that he first suffered in a collision with his brother Dale in a Montreal-Quebec game. So he's been a feisty little guy, and he has contributed greatly in the playoffs.
Dick, the Canadiens again going with 5 defensemen tonight. The Islanders started with 6. Now, we haven't seen Langevin return. We'll still try to get you a medical report. He left the ice near the end of the first period with a shoulder injury.
He's out there now.
There he is.
For Trottier, an interception to Tonelli over on this side. Here's Flatley, taken out of the play by Robinson. Canadiens can't clear it out. Good block there by defenseman Chelios. Here's Tonelli from the corner, centering it with off the leg. And the Canadiens are going to wheel it into the center ice area led by Nyland. Maybe a drop pass to Chelios. There it is, and the pass, after being taken, was shot off the leg. Starting down on the left side, Trottier. Flatley taken out of the play, and Robinson in possession for Montreal. Long left wing pass. Naslund over on the other side. A shot taken by Walter, but he was almost at an impossible angle. Here come the Islanders, twisting and turning it over the line. Flatley is going in there, and he fired it wide. That was an excellent opportunity for the Islanders. Now the Canadiens are going to try the lead pass by Lafleure's way offside.
So the fast pace continues early in the second period. The game is tied 1-1.
Teleconferencing. Welcome to today's way to hold a regular interbranch meeting without ever leaving the roost.
Everyone there? Calgary?
Because travel time is money. It's all in teleconferencing. Today's way to operate. Call toll-free 1-800-361-3050 for your free booklet. And learn how to bring your people, wherever they are, under one roof. Teleconferencing. Dial a meeting of minds without the bother of meeting.
Teleconferencing. Today's way to operate.
Face off outside. The Islanders line. 2 minutes and 24 seconds have gone by, and this is the second period. Score tied at a goal. Here's Potvin into the center ice area. The pass and the move by Potvin went off Lafleur's skate. Lafleur in over the line, draped out of the play by number 25, Billy Carroll, seeing his first service in this game in the series. Here's Lafleur getting set. He fired it. Another shot. Another shot. And Smith came up with 3 big saves. Here's Nystrom. However, Green beats into the puck and clears it on the left side. What glorious scoring opportunities for the Canadiens. And that's why Billy Smith is categorized as one of the all-time great clutch goaltenders. Down the ice it goes, and it is icing against the Islanders.
Well, Guy Lafleur started that flurry. He has not scored a goal in his last 24 games, nor has he scored a goal in his last 15 playoff games. In that latter regard, you go back to the series against Quebec 2 years ago. Gary, here's the Billy Smith moment right here.
Look at the position that Smith had. Not only does he make the initial save, but on the rebound by Lafleur, he was in position to also make that save. But then on the third try, you know, the Canadiens could have scored a goal. That's very uncharacteristic of the New York Islanders to give that second shot, let alone the third shot. You know, the matchups, gentlemen, Carbonneau against Trottier, that has been going on every series. Arbor trying to keep them away, and Jacques Lemaire trying to keep that matchup intact.
Now the Islanders up on the right side. Dwayne Sutter couldn't get anywhere. That time you had the defenseman Ludwig moving up. You have Chelios and Ludwig at center. A change for Montreal up front as Morrow swings to the right side and cleared it in there. Penny, who always helps his defenseman, stopped it. Chelios was bodied and knocked to the ice by Dwayne Sutter. He's taken in on the boards by Ludwig. And gloved pass is the reason why the play is stopped.
That was interesting. Bruce Hood waved off the play, but John D'Amico called it. So,
no, just to explain that one step further, how you match up. You know, the Canadiens know exactly who they have to play against. So if the man you're supposed to be watching is on the ice, you're on the bench, you're looking for the man that you have to replace to take his place. So you'll look for that, and you'll see a lot of teams changing on the fly. I mean, this has been going on in all 4 games.
There's Dave Langevin. Every playoff year, it seems, there's a player who continually gets injured and yet keeps coming back and toughing it out, and I think we have the perfect example right here in Langevin. Left the ice in the first period. Thought the Islanders sagged a bit, Gary, after that, but he's back here in the second.
Now here's Hunter, a good pass to Smith on the backhand. Kicked out by Billy Smith. Ludwig shooting it back in there, and it's gobbled up by the Islanders. Ad-libbing his way down on the right side. Morrow to Gorey. Now into the corner. Gillies getting it back to Morrow, and he shot it toward the corner area. Gillies behind the net. Canadiens coming up with it. Chelios wrapped it off the glass. Here's Morrow shooting it back there. It went off the skate, and it was grabbed quickly by Penny, who is back in his old-time form tonight.
And it's tied 1-1. Tonight's game coming to you from Long Island.
You'd think he could have found a place with an elevator. In a duplex?
Bob, I swear this bridge gets heavier every year. Stop complaining. There's a beer in a few guys when you finish.
Okay, now where's that beer?
Yeah. I told you there was a beer in a few guys.
I don't believe it. You mean you?
You got it.
You keep on getting together. Hey, Bob, you asked for extra for the view?
Great wall, huh?
Keep on tricking your ex, 'cause it keeps on tasting great.
Lining up for the face-off to the left of Penny. That is Trottier going in against Carbonneau, who got the draw to Hamel, who scoots around the net, having difficulty against Trottier. Robinson now will get an opportunity to move it out for Montreal. And it goes down the ice. No icing, that hit a stick. Langevin is back in circulation, almost lost it there. Then he's bumped by Gainey. They get a whistle and a face-off to the right of Billy Smith.
And every time Langevin goes into the boards or glass like that, Gary, you have to wonder about the shoulder.
Well, he has taken a lot of punishment. That's 2 good hits against him. And, you know, when you know a guy's hurting, you're going to make sure that you explore that area. Again, Langevin showed that he can take a hit and take a lot of punishment.
So they line up for the face-off. You know, the Islanders, having won the Stanley Cup the last 4 years, you would think you would find somewhere in the ranks a degree of complacency. Al Arbor says there is not an iota of complacency on my team. And that stems, I would think, from the consuming desire they want to tie the Canadiens for 5 Stanley Cups.
And winning becomes so contagious, doesn't it?
Yeah, and very pleasant when you take those checks to the bank after Stanley Cup last.
That's right. Buys a lot of boats and cars, furs, jewelry.
Now Canadiens fail to get the draw. There is young Deneen, who was so impressive in the game on Saturday night. Brent Sutter swings it over on the other side to Trottier off a stick. And it goes to the Islanders bench.
Well, Craig Ludwig, one of the Americans on the Canadiens defense, along with Chris Chelios, through his 2nd complete season in the National Hockey League. Doesn't get all that much attention, former University of North Dakota player. But does the job every night and has just sort of settled in to the Canadian scheme of things. I don't think he's missed a shift in 2 years.
The score is tied at a goal. There is Deneen pumping a shot into the corner. Penny alertly watches it, left it there for Ludwig, and his pass. No negotiation there. Goes to center. Potvin to Bossy. Goring is going in. The Canadiens had 5 players strewn across the blue line there, Gary. Now they're at the line, and again, penetration very difficult. Potvin is shot. But that was taped all the way by Penny. Here's Bossy in the corner trying to swing it out. On the boards, they fight for possession. Bossy getting set. And it's blocked in front of the net by Ludwig. And the Canadiens into the center ice area led by Carbonneau. He's in over the line. Carbonneau is swung around. Knocked down. Potvin is going to get a penalty.
Guy Carbonneau has been injured. He hit the ice awfully heavily. And there you see Carbonneau. I think the injury came on the fall, I believe. Again, it's hard to tell. Potvin gets the penalty. And it's a hooking call.
The Canadiens can ill afford to lose Carbonneau. He has been such a courageous performer, and the battle that Trottier and Carbonneau have had in this series, unforgettable.
You know, just before this, and the rush by the Canadiens up the ice, I thought Mike Bossy did something that was a bit uncharacteristic. As we look at Carbonneau being attended to by Gaetienne Lefebvre of the Canadiens training staff. He didn't have a chance at the shot, but he took it anyway. He was well covered. Almost a little panicky right there, instead of waiting like he often does to set it up. All right, now let's take a look at what happened to Guy Carbonneau on the hooking call on Denny Potvin. Is it when he hit the boards? Oh, yes. But he is up now and making his way to the Montreal bench.
You want to win a medal at the Olympics. You need coaches, training, competition. So we're funding SO Swim Canada, supporting swim clubs, encouraging skills. Now good swimmers can get better, maybe the world's best. Coming through for you makes us better too.
You make us better, you do. SO.
On our 2nd intermission, Bobby Orr and the Hockey Legends will feature defenseman Bill Gadsby.
7 of the best, so that was my...
So Potvin is in the penalty box for hooking in. The Canadiens have an excellent opportunity on the power play. Robinson over the other side to Chelios. And his pass for Smith into the corner, Langevin. He seems to be favoring an injury, Langevin. He played it very gently. Now it's Naslund. Naslund getting set back in there into the corner, and Langevin is going to be able to clear it. No, Robinson knocked it down. Over on this side, a bad pass to Naslund. Now behind the net, Nyland trying to get a Trottier, dropped it behind. Langevin gets another opportunity. And would like to welcome those who have been watching the Edmonton and Minnesota game. We're at Long Island, 13-19 left in the second period. The score is tied at a goal. Johnsson for the Islanders, Schutt for Montreal. The Canadiens on the power play. Robinson's pass is clear to the line, not out. Chelios handing it off to Smith, back to Naslund. Here's Naslund. In front of the net is Nyland. Naslund still has it. Back to the line to Robinson. He cleared it in there. That was a screen shot, but Smith was in front of it. Now Smith of Montreal getting it back to Naslund. Robinson has it. Canadiens not getting many good chances. There's a shot. Loose puck in front. It's cleared, and the Islanders shoot it down the ice. And we have 32 seconds left in the penalty to Potvin. Robinson leading the attack in slow, deliberate fashion. Beats a pass over to Chelios. Hunter is going in on the right side. He's out there with Mondeau. Schutt is there too. Robinson blocks it. Here's Robinson handing it off for Green. He had difficulty. Mondeau right in front of Schutt. Backhand shot. It goes high into the air. Fighting furiously for it is Hunter. Now Mondeau. Mondeau getting it back to Robinson. The penalty has expired. And the Islanders get it out over the line. Robinson bumping with Gilbert. On the left side. Boudelier is cutting in on the left side. And the shot goes off Green stick over the glass.
Well, a fair amount of pressure. Larry Robinson, a key man on the point position. But the Islanders hang on. Well, it's 1-1 here. And we can tell the viewers who have been watching this game that at the end of one at the Sports Center of Bloomington, Minnesota, the Oilers and the North Stars are scoreless. I'm Dick Irvin with Danny Gallivan, Gary Dornhofer, and Brian McFarland, along with Howie Meeker, here at the Nassau Coliseum, where the fans at Total Harbor of the Islanders realize that should the home team lose tonight, they will go into Montreal Thursday down 3-1 and one game away from elimination and the end of their drive for 5. This has been a good, solid, very intense hockey game.
And they line up to the right of Penny. Shots on goal. 13-13. There's Potvin shooting it, and Penny squeezes it. You know, there's Mr. Penny. You talk about it.
Well, Steve Penny came in here tonight after the much discussed taking him out the other night, which really wasn't all that serious. And he has shown, Gary Dornhofer, that he hasn't worried one little bit about it the way he's played this evening.
And that's what amazes me about a youngster who only played 4 regular season games. And here he is after being shelled for 5 goals, has just come back and stoned the Islanders. I thought in that first period he made 4 excellent saves where the Islanders could conceivably be ahead 3 or 4 goals.
And right now, New York with everybody up at the point. Here's Potvin, a screen shot. There it is. And it's off the leg. Looked into the center ice area by Gainey. They crisscross Trombley and Gainey, and the pass back out over the line. The Islanders give it away. And Green back in for Trombley. Mixing it up with Potvin into the corner. Crossier, a good solid body check on Carbonell. They're beginning to lay the body on with authority. Carbonell flicked it in over the line. Deneen ahead to Flatley into Montreal territory, swept away by Green. Now here's Tonelli. He's under danger right out in front. And Crossier couldn't control it. Didn't get much shot of a shot away, and it was wide. We're down to 10 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the second period. Here is Walter stepping in, taken into the play by Boudelier. And the Islanders with Flatley. They clear it ahead. Green shooting it back into New York territory. There's Deneen sliding the pass to Boudelier. A couple of youngsters combining. Boudelier rammed it off the leg. Green is in there to pick it up. Canadiens have been defending much, much better tonight, getting that puck out of their own zone. There it is, right in front. And a roll wide with Smith going down.
And Smith lost a glove and a stick, as you see it there. Somebody else broke a stick. Quite a scene right at the Islanders' goal crease. So 5 seconds short of the halfway mark of regulation time. It's still a 1-1 tie.
So you want to work for Midas, huh? Here you're fast.
Fastest there is.
Can you prove it?
Sure, Chief. Whose car?
Mine, hotshot.
Fast enough for you, Chief?
Fast and loose.
Huh?
Just not good enough for the Midas guarantee.
At Midas first you get good, then you get fast.
You are number one on my list. That's what our customers tell us.
Billy Smith, who loves pressure, he fairly salivates when they mention a playoff pressure game. He says, give me my pads and give me my stick. I want to be there. Now at the line, shot back in. Over on the right side, Janssen. Less than 10 minutes left in the second period. Brent Sutter along with Bossy and Goring, but the Islanders are going to make changes. Now chasing it, Robinson. Wrapping himself around Robinson was Sutter. Now the Islanders, here's Janssen getting set for the shot. Rebound, and it is crossed. And the Canadiens, Carbonneau blocked that. On the left side, Captain Gainey getting it back to Trombley, who tried to swing it back into Gainey, and it went off Morrow's stick. Here come the Islanders. Bossy on the right side, a backhand shot off the glove of Penny. Gilbert had that good scoring opportunity. The Canadiens bouncing back with Lafleur. Lafleur around the net trying to center it, and he overskated it. Here's Morrow, just getting rid of it down the icicles. There'll be no icing on. That flip shot down the ice. Here's McPhee in over the line. McPhee working hard against Gilbert. Lafleur over the other side to Ludwig, and it's blocked. Now Deneen, ahead to Goring. Goring speeding in on the left side. Fires one. Knee high. Actually an easy chance for Penny because Goring had to let it go from fairly well up.
You notice when Penny blocked that shot, it went in between his pant and the pad. He took off his trapper and grabbed it in his bare hand. You know, the Islanders have proven through the years that they can play any style. A skating game, a hitting game. They elected to go to the hitting game today. But what impresses me is the Canadiens have matched them hit for hit. Now watch, Penny makes a save. He's got it caught in between the pant and the pad. He takes off the glove just to make sure.
8 minutes and 32 seconds left. Here come the Islanders. Deneen, a shot. Those screen shots are being blocked in front of Penny and in front of Smith. In other words, we're getting a lot of action in that area, in the slot area, in front of the goalie. Now on the boards, Hunter. To the other side, Smith is going to be able to move it out for the Canadiens. He gets it ahead. In over the line. Hamel was shot back. A shot trying to get in there. He was knocked off the puck. Here come the Islanders. Dean up on the left side to Carroll. And taking him out of the play was Ludwig. They're executing the fundamentals of hockey very well, both teams. They're finishing their checks. They're playing the man instead of the puck. There are very few mistakes. They're shot with a shot. Off a stick and over the glass.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Long Island.
In just 2 years since its introduction, this compact pickup is leapt ahead of all its competitors, overtaken the imports, overtaken the domestics. Ford Ranger, now #1 in compact pickups. #1 in sales. In North America, Ranger outsells Chevy S10, Toyota, and Nissan. #1 in quality. Owner survey shows no one beats Ranger, import or domestic. And now Ranger is #1 in price, lowest of any compact pickup. Ford Ranger, #1 in quality, sales, and value. And built Ford tough.
Well, the fans here at the Nassau Coliseum booing the Notice it goes up on the clock. This is Bruce's 110th playoff game, tops of the all-time list. No salute for that milestone for Hood tonight, Danny.
Well, officials have a very difficult time of it. But by and large, I subscribe to their proficiency. There's a nice thing. You know, it's May the 1st and the Canadians are playing hockey. Who would have thought of that back at the end of the regular schedule? And they're playing it well. It's a different type of hockey Montreal is playing, of course. It's not a club that features the flow and the fluidity, speed, and precision passing, culminating in goals that they used to score effortlessly. Right now they have to work hard. Forwards coming back. And be patient.
That's what the game is all about, the ability to outwork your opponent, and both teams have shown the ability to do just that, Danny.
Green takes a shot, and he wrapped it off Trottier's leg. Nyland tried to set up Trottier, but the wily Trottier got away from the intended check. Now coming in offside are the Islanders. 7:13 left in the second period.
This program is copyrighted strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, distribution, or exhibition, in whole or in part, without the express written consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited.
I really believe that that two-day layoff for both teams helped the Canadians more than it did the Islanders. Have a chance to watch films, look at the mistakes that were made that resulted in goals. Jacques Lemaire has again prepared his team in such an excellent fashion, and they've gone back to the basics that they did in games 1 and 2.
Okay, Gary Dornhofer of Edmonton wins tonight, and this series goes 7 games. Edmonton will be off for 10 days. What will that mean? We'll talk about it later. Right now, the Canadians coming back in on the left side. And there's a whistle. I remember in '66, the Canadians were off for 10 days. Finally, when they played Detroit, and it opened in Montreal, they lost the first 2 games, but then they won 4.
Well, that could happen, Danny, because you've been away from it for a while. You don't practice the same way you do in a game. You don't work as hard, and you're thinking about other things. Players, they would rather have a day off and go right at it. Another day off and keep playing. Well, the intensity and the emotion is there.
And we have, as you coin it, intensity and emotion in this game. There's another whistle. So we're getting a fair frequency of whistles at this juncture. So that slows it up, but I think we need it. It was too high a pitch.
Well, I can't remember having seen a couple of teams dish out as many checks and as many hits as we have tonight. I mean, the players are paying the price, standing in front, going in the corners, getting a shot on net. After they shoot the puck, whammo, they're being hit with solid checks.
And there are 6 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the second period. Nystrom, who has not been a prominent playoff figure this year, and he generally is, got it to Tonelli, over to Deneen on the other side, and Potvin will slash it in there away wide. Tonelli has the score tied at a goal. Nystrom around the net. Tied up by Robinson. Good work by Nystrom. Tonelli behind the net. He tried to get it in front. Tonelli gets it again. Twists and turns. Pinching in is Deneen. He took a body check from Turnbull. And the Canadians fail to clear it out. Now Montreal on the left side. Turnbull against Deneen. Turnbull knocked to the ice by Nystrom. Here is Hunter in over the line. This bit right in front of Robinson. And he almost landed on it. Beautiful execution on the passing by the Canadians. Penalty coming up. Tonelli having words with Turnbull. Now Nystrom moves it.
Tonelli drawing the penalty on the first call by Hood. He is going to the penalty box. Live on CBC, this is Stanley Cup '84.
Molson Canadian. Taste that'll stop you cold.
Well, at 14:03 in the second period of a 1-1 hockey game, Gary John Tonelli gets called high sticking.
I don't think Tonelli should have complained about that, but he did to referee Bruce Hood. The stick was up, a vicious check against Turnbull, and again the Canadiens are in the power play. Both teams have scored a power play goal, and with the checking as close as it is, the team that makes that mistake, that 3-on-2, that 2-on-1, we haven't seen that in tonight's game. The teams have played with such discipline. The concentration is there. You know that the coaching of both teams is excellent.
So they line up for the face-off. Montreal on the power play. They have Walter out there along with Naslin, Nyland, Green, and Chelios. Let's see. We're going to have another visitation apparently to the penalty box.
And it's Chris Nyland who goes to the penalty box just 6 seconds after the Tonelli penalty began. So let's leave this very hectic moment here at the Nassau Coliseum and check in with Jim Robson for a report on the Edmonton, Minnesota game from Bloomington.
Number 30, Chris Nyland.
Here at the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota. At this time, I'd like to welcome the viewers of the Islanders-Canadiens playoff game. Here, we're early in the second period, 4.5 minutes gone. There's no score. Melange and Pure are the goaltenders. The shots are 12-9 in Edmonton's favor. There's only been 3 minor penalties, 2 of them to Minnesota. The North Stars have dressed 7 defensemen and have used 3 defensemen on the ice quite often.
Referee Bruce Hood calling 2 penalties in quick order here in this one. Chris Nyland has gone off for roughing only 6 seconds after the Canadiens started a power play with Tonelli in the box.
We talked about discipline. That was a little lack of discipline. You cannot afford to take a penalty like that when you're on the power play, a chance to give that go-ahead goal.
But what you're saying is that penalty did not ooze of intelligence or practicality by Nyland.
Very well put.
So they're playing 5 aside. And the score tied at a goal. Down the ice it goes. The Montreal call for icing. We're down to 5:37 to play in the second period.
They say the Islanders this year have scored 2 life-saving goals. This man got one of them to win the series against the Rangers in the deciding 5th game. The other, Anders Keller, in Game 2 against Washington. Had the Islanders lost that game, they would have been down 2-0 to the Capitals. So they have managed to stay alive in the drive for 5. But it's not easy, obviously, right here against Montreal.
So the Canadiens get the draw, and Green takes a look and decides to lug it out and then pass it to Carbonneau. Carbonneau is nifty, is shifty. There's the shot right on. There's an example of the cleverness of Carbonneau. See him get in behind the defenseman.
Oh, that was an excellent move. It looked like he was going to go around Morrow to the outside. As he was cutting to the center, let the wrist shot go, and Smith had to be very sharp on that play. Excellent move by Guy Carbonneau.
Gary, after the Saturday night game, well, here it is, Gary.
I like that. All of a sudden, just turn, and in one motion, use Morrow as a screen right through the legs.
After that Saturday night game, a lot of people said, well, it was the first time in the playoffs the Canadiens have been victimized by 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, 3-on-1s breakaways. And they have closed that particular part of their defensive play, at least so far here tonight.
Now here's Ludwig winding up for the shot wide by 4 or 5 feet. Now Green can't hold it in, however gets back there. And he saved a breakaway by Sutter. Now Sutter gets a second opportunity to Trottier. Over to Potvin, a shot blocked. Here's Naslin. Naslin breaking down. Naslin going in on goal. He's hauled down. And Deneen is going off. And I would think you have to say...
Penalty shot.
That was a good penalty.
Oh, boy. Isn't this what it's all about? I love it.
A penalty shot has been awarded the Canadiens' Matt Naslin.
I said that it was a good penalty before I got the indication it was a penalty shot.
Well, Al Arbor doesn't think it was a good call. You know, the speed of Naslin made that possible. He just pulled away from everybody. Let's watch it again as Deneen's coming back. And there's the hook.
Now, of course, the rule there is, was the player in complete possession of the puck, and would he have had a clear shot on goal?
I believe he would have.
All right, let's go to Bruce Hood, obviously.
So a very, very dramatic and
shot will be an awfully big psychological edge, however it comes out.
I think that has to uplift the Islander players to no end, as Billy Smith time and time again has saved the bacon for his teammates. And again, it looked like very nonchalant on Smith's part. But why go to the backhand? I don't know. He was trying to go through that 5-hole, but you notice how Smith took that stick, placed it right down between the legs, and made the save.
Face off in Islanders territory. They start out. Here's Gainey romping in on the right side. Gainey trying to get in front, back to the point. Chelios is closing in, and he fired it wide. Now Gainey trying to get it in on the boards, scoring along with Carbonell. Robinson over the other side, and Chelios going in for the shot. Big save by Smith. Pressure by the Canadiens. They are playing 5-a-side. Islanders trying to get out. Now Potvin goes back to get some skating room into the center ice area. Up to Goring at the line. And Canadiens are making changes. Carbonell, a good pass to Schutt. Schutt gathering speed coming in on the left side. Chops his shot, and he didn't miss by much. Now it's Schutt failing to pick it up behind the net. Tonelli is back on the ice. Nyland has 3 seconds. Canadiens are going to kill off this penalty. And now Nyland is back in circulation. Here come the Islanders in there. Billy Carroll knocked in on the boards right in front of Bossy. There's a shot. Big save by Penny. And the Islanders almost took the lead there. There's the left wing pass, and Schutt is not going to be able to get it. Morrow has it. 3 minutes and 25 seconds left in the second period. Morrow over the line. Shot. Rebound. Down it goes right in front of us. They score!
Mike Bossy gets the goal, but Gary, it was an absolutely super play on the part of Ed Morrow.
Well, it resulted because of a bad line change by the Montreal Canadiens. But I thought Penny played that very poorly, not controlling the rebound. They allowed a big one. The Islanders gained possession, and Mike Bossy is paid to score goals. And that's exactly what he does in this play. Morrow follows up when he's on the seat of his pants and shovels it out to Bossy. And when you give Bossy the opportunity, you face off at center ice.
So in the space of a couple of minutes, we've had the Canadiens unable to score in a penalty shot, and the Islanders, Mike Bossy, giving his team a 2-1 lead.
Bossy sits to the playoff tomorrow at 16:30.
16:30, the time of the goal by Bossy, and the Islanders are leading 2-1. When it looked a couple of minutes ago as if they would be trailing 2-1 when the Canadiens were awarded that penalty shot. But Smith made the save, and then the Islanders coming back with Bossy. Boudelier dropping it back. There's a shot wide. Bossy over on the other side, playing it to the boards. And Smith has it for Montreal with Hunter on the right side. Here's Hunter shooting it, and the angle was severe. Islanders 2 and the Canadiens 1 back after it goes to Mel. Out to center to Smith, they head to Gainey, and it is offside.
So we have 2.5 minutes remaining in the second period. Islanders 2, Montreal 1.
Drudgery was a way of life for our ancestors. It made Grandpa cranky. But today, even lawn work is easier because Snapper has the key to quick starts. Electric ignition, the sign of today's most advanced machine. It even has an alternator, like your car, and a powerful high vacuum system. Snapper Electric Starter makes mowing a snap. And that's just for starters.
Be sure to join Wayne Gretzky, Rod Langway, and the others nominated for NHL Awards in a television spectacular. NHL Awards Night, Monday, June 4th at 8 on CBC television. We talked a lot about Mike Bossy getting only 1 shot on goal in the first 2 games of Montreal, Gary. He has a goal in each of the 2 games here. There's the play by Morrow.
You know, you talk about second efforts, don't you? And there was one by Morrow. You notice Penny was deep in his net. That gave the angle to Mike Bossy and had an easy time of it, putting it in on the far side.
New York 2, Montreal 1. We're into the final 2 minutes and 15 seconds in the second period. Now Janssen getting it over to Potvin. Gillies couldn't pick it up, and the Canadiens knock it out. Here is Nyland at the line, and a rising shot nowhere near the net. And Smith corrals it.
So let's go back to what's happening, see what's happening between the Oilers and the North Stars. And in Bloomington, here is Jim Robson.
Now play in the Minnesota zone. Jackson coming in front. He scores!
What a goal.
Jackson, 1-0 Edmonton.
That is what a play by Donnie Jackson. I'll tell you what, Chico, there's a guy that shouldn't be doing that stuff. That's unbelievable. You talk about a team with some offense, and look what happened. Big Jackson on a 2-on-2. He gives Maxwell a little fake, freezes him to the inside, and goes outside and brought that thing in like a forward would and tucked it underneath Joe Melas. What a super play by the...
Lining up for the face-off to the left of Smith. Canadians with Ludwig and Chelios up. Chelios has had a lot of opportunities to fire a good shot tonight, but he's had the volume, but accuracy has been a bit deficient. But he has been a standout, number 24 for the Canadiens in the playoffs. As Brent Sutter, another standout for the Islanders, comes in. He played it in front. It bounces in there. And Penny was there. Some shoving. Smith is the Montreal player, and the Islanders player is Tonelli. Tonelli is a great competitor, Gary.
Well, he works all the time, and he showed it in playoffs over the years how important he is to the Islander Hockey Club. There's no such word as quit as far as Tonelli's concerned.
Scoring play, Bossy has six from Morrow at 16:40, and in Minnesota, the Don Jackson goal has given Edmonton a 1-0 lead over the North Stars. The Oilers can wrap that one up with a win tonight.
Gentlemen, the goal by Mike Bossy, an example of how important line changes are. The Canadiens did make a good line change. That allowed the Islanders that skating room. The defense had to back in, and the result ended up in a goal.
So it's only the astute eye of an analyst of Dornhofer's caliber that would pick that up. That's why they're paying you so much. Now into the corner, Chelios gets it to the line. Let's see, it didn't come out. In any case, the Canadiens are going to lug it to center. Tremblay shot it in, and a minute and a half the time left in the second period. One goal in this period by Bossy, a master goal scorer, and the Islanders leading 2-1. And they're going to keep it in, led by Boudelier. He flipped it in there. Canadians finally coming up with it. Into the center ice area, it's Walter, head down, in over the line. Walter trying to feed it in front, intercepted by Morrow. 1 minute left in the period. Up on the left side, Tonelli, he's out there with Trotsky and Flatley. Flatley, the graduate of the University of Wisconsin from the Olympic team, has been a solid performer. There he is coming in now, chasing that puck into the corner, trying to center it. Robinson jammed his man Gilbert in on the board. Loose puck in front. Flatley. Now it comes back to Janssen, a screen shot. And the loose puck to the side of the net, in on the board. Bodies are falling all over the place, and it's called because of a glove pass with 26 seconds left.
You know, that's something that the Islanders are doing a lot better than the Canadiens. They're jamming the front of the net. They're making life absolutely miserable for Penny. And that's, I still believe, something that the Canadiens have to do a lot better job of. Get the traffic in front of the goaltender. I don't think the Canadian forwards are willing to pay that price against Billy Smith.
Penny a bit lucky there. He had lost sight of the puck. You could tell as he was still looking down when it was bouncing high above him, and it dropped just wide of the goalpost. You know, one thing that I figure is my job in this crew, gentlemen, is to watch John Tonelli, because just because the play seems over, if he's away from where the puck is, don't take your eye off him, because if there's a Canadian near him, there's going to be something happen. He is something else tonight, boy. So there he is. taking a swig out of the water jug.
They'd never have this game going were it not for Tonelli against Pittsburgh when it appeared as if they were going to be eliminated.
Or in the first period against the Rangers in Game 4 in that series this year. Oh, third period, rather.
Now Potvin clearing it in there. Brent Sutter is knocked to the ice. Hunter getting it out to Gainey, coming down. Carbonneau moving up on the plate. Good body check by Potvin on Hunter. Canadians with a loose puck in front. Now penalty coming up. There's a weak shot. Islanders are going to get a penalty. I believe it might be Janssen.
It comes with 6 seconds left here in the second period. And Janssen goes to the box. And it's a hooking foul, Gary. Big traffic jam right here on Gainey.
Right in front, Gainey would have had an excellent chance with Billy Smith on his stomach there just to lift it over his body for the tying goal. So a penalty like that, as far as Al Arbour is concerned, that is a good penalty to take. It saved the goal.
So we have a half dozen seconds left. However, a valuable 6 seconds as far as the Canadians are concerned. They're on the power play, and the face-off, as you can see, is in the Islanders' zone. Montreal with 4 players on the line at the face-off. Just 1 player back at the blue line. That's Chelios. Goring was a bit fractious. Now it's back to Chelios. There's his shot. Lafleur has it over in front. There's the shot. Big save by Smith on Walter. And Billy Smith was there again that time on Walter with 1 second to go.
Well, again, the goaltenders are supplying some superlatives. And in fact, we've run out of superlatives to describe the way they're playing. Smith and Penny, what a battle.
So the Islanders, who want to even this series, they don't want to go back to the Forum Thursday, down 3-1, leave the ice here in the second period. And they have the lead on the goal by Mike Bossy. It's 2-1 New York. Now let's go back to our studios, and here's Brian McFarland.
Dig another great period of hockey featuring the missed penalty shot by Naslund, the rising shot by Bossy. Islanders in front by 1. In this intermission, we'll have Dick Irvin with replay, Howie Meeker and his playoff playbook. And on the Bobby Orr and the Hockey Legends, a look at Bill Gadsby, who played in the league for 20 years, never tasted the champagne on the Stanley Cup. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage continues shortly with our second intermission.
For 29 years, Advanced Floor and Wall Covering has been selling carpets from one of Windsor's largest in-stock inventories. With 40-store buying power, carpeting from all the major mills is available at low prices. See the selection of all-wool Oriental rugs, imported and domestic ceramic tile, vinyl no-wax flooring, and a beautiful display of over 40 hardwood floor samples, all installed by their own skilled workmen. Advance your carpet center, centrally located at McDougall and Eugenie.
Oh, have you heard the news? About Ontario's Twice as Fun bonus draw is back.
Oh, wonderful. Do I still get 2 jackpots for the price of 1?
That's right.
So now when I play Lotterio, I'm automatically in the second bonus draw for $250,000 each week.
That's right. But this time, it's for 8 weeks.
8 weeks? Oh, now Lotterio really is twice the fun.
That's right. That's right.
The Vancouver Motocross, the first stop in the 4-part Canadian Championship Series, took place recently. One of the contestants was 18-year-old Jeff Sutherland from Woodsley. On the next Sports The Final Word, we'll talk with Jeff about competing on the motocross circuit against the world's best. Another race season underway at Checker Flag International Speedway. We'll have results and talk to some of the drivers. All of this and more on Sports The Final Word, Sunday following the late news here on TV9.
CBC News with Peter Mansbridge.
Good evening. Here are tonight's top news headlines. There's astonishment in Ottawa over the latest Gallup poll results. The Liberals have picked up 14 points, surging ahead to 46% of decided voters. The Conservatives have lost 14 points in the biggest monthly swing in the history of the Gallup. Many people just don't believe it. There was violence in several Polish cities as solidarity marchers joined in May Day parades. Security forces charged them with clubs, tear gas, and water cannon. Nurse Phyllis Traynor is finished on the witness stand at the Grange inquiry into baby deaths at Toronto's Hospital for Sick Children. Lawyers said she did not appear to be the person described by earlier witnesses. But Traynor said, "I am what you see." And the Canadian dollar continues its plunge, closing at 77.23 cents American. That's the lowest it's been in nearly 2 years. We'll have more on these and other stories later on the National and on the Journal. But now, back to Hockey Night in Canada.
Even a bout with polio did not deter him. Bill Gadsby reminisces with Bobby Orr.
Firm guy, but he was awful fair and a good guy to play for. And I enjoyed New York. I had some good years there.
Bobby Orr and the Hockey Legends. Brought to you by Planters Nuts, the legend of quality and freshness. From Jamaica, the legend of Bill Gadsby.
I've met a lot of legends in my time, but few as well known as this fellow, Mr. Peanut. If he could talk, he'd be telling you about Planter Snacking Sweepstakes, 500 Victoriaville sticks, 100 pairs of Bauer skates, and 5 Mercury Topaz cars, yours for the winning. Just pick up this entry form wherever you buy planters. Victoriaville, Bauer, Mercury, Planters. Heck, we're all legends around here.
Hey, that's Bobby. Bobby? Yeah, Bobby O. Oh.
Bill Gadsby was an all-round athlete in his hometown of Calgary, Alberta, and learned early that life was a struggle. He began his NHL career in Chicago in 1945.
In 8.5 years with Chicago, you scored 54 goals and 125 assists. I think it's about time you start taking some responsibility for the offensive defenseman today.
Yeah, but you broke all the records when you came in. I had some good years in Chicago, and I was more of an offensive defenseman there. And then as I got on more in my later years, I kind of tried to stay back and play a little more defense and pick up the odd assist.
In 1954, Bill Gadsby was traded to the New York Rangers.
And I didn't know about, you know, the big city and the whole deal and the living conditions. And I had 2 little girls at the time, and we just didn't want to do much more traveling. But I went home and phoned Mr. Boucher, Frank Boucher, and he said, "You just get over here." He says, "We'll take care of you and get you an apartment." And this was my main worry, is where's my family going to live in New York? But I went there and had some pretty good years.
Detroit is where you want to end your career, so you go to Muspatrick and ask to be traded. Why?
Well, in those years, Bob, they had a club in Edmonton where I was living at the time in the off-season, and the Edmonton Flyers, and I figured if I could play 1 or 2 years in Detroit, then maybe get the coaching job out there in Edmonton, it would really work out. I'd be back home, and I'd still be in hockey.
Gadsby was traded from New York to Detroit and joined stars like Howe and Del Vecchio to anchor the Red Wing defense.
Detroit is known as an offensive team. Bill Gadsby, an offensive defenseman. But you change your style when you go there.
Well, I was getting older, Bobby, for one thing, and they had a lot of, like Marcel Pronovo was an offensive defenseman, and Barkley was there. They liked to carry the puck, so I just kind of tried to lay back and direct traffic a little more on my own end. And like I say, I was getting a little older, and the legs weren't there like you could jump on it, but maybe a half a step slower, so I just changed my style a little bit.
You retire at the end of the '66 season. Expansion is just beginning. Bill Gadsby could have played for God only knows how many more years.
Well, the body was telling me to quit, Bob. And I just had enough, so I quit, and I went back to Edmonton and got in the junior program, coaching the Edmonton Oil Kings.
Halfway through the NHL 66-67 season, you get a very interesting call from the Red Wing front office.
Yeah, they wanted me to come back and play in Detroit around Christmas time. But I was coaching the junior team out in Edmonton, and I honestly told them I just didn't want to get back into shape and go back and play. They offered me a lot more money than I was even making the year before for half a year. That's what I even told Bruce Norris and Sid. I said, you know, fight like heck with you for a $1,500 raise. Now you're talking about thousands for a half a season.
After coaching the Edmonton Oil Kings for 2 years, Bill Gadsby did move back to coach the Red Wings in 1968. The following year began with promise for Gadsby and the Red Wings.
Bruce came down to the dressing room, and he had his arm around me, and he said, boy, you really got these guys going. And I said, Bruce, I think we're going to have a pretty good club this year. Well, 20 hours later, I got a call from his secretary that Mr. Norris would like to see in his office before the game. We were going to play Minnesota that night. And I walked in, and he said, I'm going to relieve you as coach of the hockey club. Well, he was kind of a kidder and a joker anyway, you know, with the players and the management and stuff. But I looked at him, he was serious, and I just said to him, you know, what do you mean you're firing me? I said, what happened? I said, where'd I go wrong? What did I do, you know, wrong so I could maybe use it in the future? He said, well, I just run a lot of corporations and businesses, and he says, I think it's time for change. And I said, you're actually firing me? He says, yep, that's it. Kind of bothered me in a way, and in a way it didn't, but that was probably the biggest disappointment.
Was it all worth it?
Oh, it was a great career, Bob. I really loved it. It was first class all the way, and I wish the good Lord up the stairs would have given a guy about 30, 40 years to play.
Slip a little magic into midnight.
Christy knows that when you're snacking, your right hand is busy. That's why Christy's snacking crackers are made especially for your left hand. Christy vegetable thins are made so that your left hand can take them easily from the box. Each cracker is perfectly designed to approach your mouth from the left. And vegetable thins has flavor and crispness ideal for left-hand loading. When your right hand is busy, remember the snack made for your left hand. Christy's left-handed snacking crackers.
And the Hockey Legends was brought to you by Planters Nuts, the legend of quality and freshness.
Not many goals, but lots of highlights in this game on the island tonight. We'll get to some of those highlights with Dick Irvin as replay is coming up next on our second intermission.
Here's a name to remember for spark plugs. Copper Plus, the latest and best ever spark plug from Champion for just about every domestic and imported car sold in Canada. From Chrysler to Toyota, from Buick to Volkswagen, and everything in between. Copper Plus for top performance, no matter what you drive. Nothing sparks like a Champion, guaranteed.
No matter where you shop, ultimately you have to face it, the cash register. And most of them want as much of you as they can get. But it doesn't have to be like this. Millions of Canadians have beaten these kinds of cash registers. They shop at Canadian Tire. You know you're going to have to face a cash register, but with Canadian Tire's low prices, it won't be this one. Canadian Tire, it's your money. Why spend more of it than you have to?
You think I'm tough? This is tough. TR3 ain't no whack. Man, this stuff is something else. TR3 goes on easy, stays on hard. Makes your car beautiful. Like me. TR3 fights off the enemies like dirt, sun, and grime. You want tough? This is tough. TR3. Take it from me, Mr. T.
Buck, can you tell us what's up?
The new Winterio, Hal.
Winterio's changed?
Explosively, Hal. They've doubled the grand prize to $200,000.
Some blast.
And there's 3 shots at $100,000, too.
Amazing, Buck.
Plus instant blast windfall.
Well, thanks, and good luck, Buck. There you have it, the latest blast on the new Winterio. Direct from the mouth of a real blast authority.
More than ever before. More blast for a buck. Winterio.
What a blast!
This is teamwork at its best. And I'll put the quality of this product up against all the other competition.
Ford invites comparison to anything made anywhere. Ford is building the highest quality of all major North American manufacturers.
I've always driven sporty cars, and I was looking for something a little different. When I saw this Cougar, I knew this was it.
Driving is believing.
Better and better, see what we've done. At Ford, quality is top one.
Ford, I believe.
Cup replay is brought to you by Apple Computers and authorized Apple dealers throughout Canada.
Power plays resulted in 2 goals in the first period, with Rick Green of Montreal in the penalty box. The Islanders struck to open the scoring. Thomas Janssen taking a pass from Brian Trottier. Clark Gillies causing traffic in front. Larry Robinson tries to check him without the stick. The goal goes in. It's 1-0 New York. And then with Greg Gilbert in the penalty box, the Canadiens came back with a power play goal of their own. A rebound gets away from Billy Smith. Steve Shutt follows in behind and beats Smith with the tying goal at 12:31. Robinson and Chelios assisting. So it was 1-1 at the end of the first period. A dramatic moment in the second period. A penalty shot awarded the Canadiens Matt Naslund. The score still tied. Naslund goes to the backhand. Billy Smith makes the save. 2 minutes later, a goal by Mike Bossy broke the tie. The Islanders lead the Canadiens 2-1 after 2 periods.
Stanley Cup replay is brought to you by Apple Computers and authorized Apple dealers throughout Canada.
Introducing Macintosh. It does all the things you'd expect a business computer to do. It does a lot of things you wouldn't expect a business computer to do. And it does some things no other business computer has ever done before. Of course, to do all this, you will have to learn to do this. Macintosh from Apple.
Molson Canadian. Taste that'll stop you cold.
Don Cherry chats with legends of the game Saturdays on CBET TV9 Windsor.
And now, Hockey Night in Canada playbook as Howie takes a look at finishing the check.
Well, we have a couple of perfect examples here. Danny, Dick, and Jerry have been constantly talking about finishing the check, and you'll see right in here the Montreal player takes the Islander player off the puck, and it comes around in behind, and of all things, it comes to a Bossy, and then you'll see how it's not to be done. Okay, roll it. We'll show you now. This is how it should be done. There's the shot, and the puck will go in the corner. Now, this is how you take the man. Never mind the puck. Just take the man. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt yourself. Oops. Puck will go behind the net. Now, stop it right here. Bossy comes up with it. Now, this fella has to finish that jack. That's all. Then he gets into no trouble. Let her go. Okay, Bossy gets rid of it. Or it's not Bossy, but he gets rid of the puck. He doesn't finish the check, and Goring comes in and takes it off him. And they'll come out in front of the net right here now and spin around, look at this, and have an excellent chance to score a goal. But you just can't make a mistake when you just finish the check on the man, no matter when he gets rid of the puck.
Quickly, what about finishing a penalty shot?
Well, I don't know. I kind of thought that he looked like Howie Meeker trying to score a goal. Just Billy Smith stoned him. I thought it was a very, very poor effort.
Okay, let's go upstairs to Dan.
And we are ready. Bossy getting the goal at 16:40 in the second period. Montreal out shooting the Islanders 11-8. So in the penalty box, we have number 3, Janssen, with a minute and 54 seconds remaining. The Islanders are leading by 2-1, and the Canadiens getting their power play organized, led by Robinson. Robinson going right in on the line, gives it to Naslund, going in for the shot, and a great glove grab by Billy Smith. That was a sizzling, rising shot, and Smith wrapped it.
I love the play that Robinson made, that change of pace, was able to penetrate over that blue line, turn a few
players inside out to set up Naslin, but the stumbling block again, number 31, Billy Smith. There's Robinson. Notice how he just puts a perfect pass on Naslin. Naslin, everything he has into that shot. Sure, it looked like a great save, but you notice nobody in front. Smith could see it all the way. He's supposed to make those saves.
Minute and 39 seconds. The time left in the penalty. Canadians, everybody up, and the Islanders get the draw. And Captain Potvin will get an opening. And got it out, and it's propelled down the ice by Brent Sutter. One of the Sutters from Viking, Saskatchewan. That's in Saskatchewan, isn't it, Dick? That's your territory. Now here's Naslin in over the line. Naslin putting on the break. He lost it. And the Islanders take their time, and that's Brent Sutter again sending Montreal back down the ice. Haller is out there now as the penalty killer. Naslin coming up with it. Ahead it goes on the wing to Chelios down with Mondu. Mondu is hopping in there. Couldn't pick it up. And Potvin shoots it down the ice. So aside from that play by Robinson to Naslin, the Canadians have done nothing on the power play. Now they're coming in offside with 45 seconds left.
Steve Shutt with the lone Montreal goal tonight on the power play, as you saw during replay in our intermission. Johnson and Fossey had scored for New York. The Canadians down by one. They have 45 seconds left on this particular power play.
Dick, the Islanders always been a very good club, one-on-one situations. As we look at that score, the Edmonton Oilers ahead of the North Stars. That's in Minnesota in the third period. Oilers looking for a sweep.
And the Canadians looking for a goal. They are behind by one. Islanders 2 and the Canadians 1. And a minute and 9 seconds have gone by in the third period. But the important statistic on the clock as we read it, 39 seconds left in the penalty to Johnson. Canadians trying to get some pressure with the odd man advantage. So far they have not been successful. And they'll not do it this time with Gilbert coming down with Goring. Goring in over the line. He'll play it back. And that'll lead up a fair number of seconds in possession. Boudelier, and he shoots it into the center ice area. Green up for Hunter. Now the Canadians in on the line. Mondu taking on the play. Hunter jammed over the play by Morrow, and Gilbert shoots it down the ice. So the Canadians power play. It is now an expiration of the penalty to Johnson. The Canadians power play, all in all, was very anemic. Now here's Chelios trying to center it. He was in there too far. Naslin with it. Naslin around the net. Backhand shot. It went to the far side. Here come the Islanders. Colorful Tonelli in over the line. Tonelli centered right out. He's got goal. Get in.
Somebody to pass it to, and Dineen, when he realized that nobody was covering, just moved in from his right point position, and away he goes. Looked like Penny was going down before the shot was even taken.
And also he had trouble with Flatley in front of the net. Watch that, number 8, look at that, right in front of the goaltender, who floundered a bit, as you say, and dropped on the shot.
Good observation, Dick, and again, that's 2 goals that the Islanders have scored. Somebody has been in front of Penny.
Now the Islanders coming in again. Ludwig finally knocked Tonelli to the ice. He gets up quickly. Now the Islanders with Trottier in front. Back it goes to the line. A shot by Dineen. The rebound of Flatley. Here's Flatley into the corner for Tonelli. Tonelli trying to get it in front of his block. Tonelli gets it again. Right out in front of the Canadians starting out. Here's Hunter coming down with Shutt. In over the line. A Hunter, a pass to Smith. He has to go to the corner for it. Now off the board. Hunter making a move. He's up into the penalty coming up to Potvin. Hooking will be the charge.
From Long Island, this is Stanley Cup 84 on CBC. The Islanders have drawn 8 minor penalties in the game. The Canadiens 6. Number 8 for New York, Kenny Potvin. Right here, Gary.
Well, there's the trip. Potvin tried to let go, but it was too late. And I guess if you're going to get back in the contest, you better do it right now in the power play.
I would think that would have to be almost a must for Montreal. Now breaking out in over the line. Keller, Robinson racing up, leading a 4-man attack, and the line is swept away, and Schutt brings it in. Here is Schutt. Schutt is shot. Puck is loose in front. Morrow failed to clear it out. Here's Schutt with a shot, rebound right in front, and the Islanders clear it down the ice.
Now the Canadiens have tried different combinations on defense. First Robinson playing the point, then Lafleur, then mixing it up, trying to get something going where they can come up and put some good pressure on the Islanders.
Now it's Monduo hopping in on that right side, jammed in on the boards. Walters clearing it back to Robinson. Robinson over the other side to Lafleur. Lafleur shoots it wide into the corner. It goes. Monduo. Walters is bumped there by Morrow. Canadiens with it. Here's Schutt ducking away from a check. Schutt trying to get it back. Turns around in the corner. Schutt getting it to Robinson. Robinson getting set. Hands it off. Monduo to Lafleur. A shot blocked in front by Morrow. Penalty coming up.
Islanders, I think.
Cross-checking.
It comes with 42 seconds left in the Dennis Potvin penalty. And the Islanders will now play 2 men short. What a break this might be, Gary, for the Montreal Canadiens. Brent Sutter gets called cross-checking.
Now let's see if we can pick it up. Right from behind against Guy Lafleur. And the right hand of referee Bruce Hood comes up. So Sutter will go to the box. 2-man advantage. Danny, you thought they should score before. They better score now.
Well, so far, I think the game, you'd have to sum it up in 2 different ways. The break that they got when Naslund failed to score gave them a lift, and Canadiens' inability to score in the power play.
So Al Arbor calls a timeout right here. With 4.5 minutes gone in this third period, his team leading by 2, down by 2 in strength on the ice.
In major centers all across Canada, business travelers are discovering Holiday Inn hotels are a better place to be.
Trying to cool things out a bit, Gary, for his team. Give them a bit of a break. Quite a moment right here.
Now there's Sutter and Potvin. They will be very nervous for the next 42 seconds at least when Potvin will come to the ice. I always felt when you have a 2-man advantage, the quick puck movement is very important. You have to get somebody in front, but you can use picks and screens.
Now the Canadiens at the line, they keep it in. Here's Naslund scampering into the corner, giving it to Chelios. Chelios over to Naslund. They're not getting any shots, and seconds are ticking away. Chelios to Lafleur. Over it goes Naslund. Tried to set up Schutt. shot got the impact of Smith's stick. Now Naslin getting it to Chelios to Lafleur. The Islanders are keeping him outside the box. Here's Lafleur going in for the shot. And it went off somebody over the glass. And there are only 8 seconds left in the Potvin penalty.
Excellent penalty killing by the New York Islanders, or poor execution on the power play.
We welcome those of you who have been watching Edmonton and Minnesota. We've got quite a dramatic moment here in this game at the Nassau Coliseum. 3-1, the Islanders lead the Canadiens, but the Islanders are playing 2 men short.
Well, you pay the price from Billy Smith when you get close to that net. You know, it's the goal stick going against the ankle of Steve Shutt. Had many of those. But let's watch it now as the play always to the outside, the perimeter. Canadians can't get that good shot from about 15 feet out.
You know why he did that right there? Because his team is playing 2 men short. He thought he was pretty safe.
And in 8 seconds, Potvin will be back. Brent Sutter still has 1 minute and 26 seconds left. The Canadians with Smith, Naslin, Mondu, Robinson, and Chelios. Chelios has it over to Robinson. Robinson has trouble controlling it. Here's Robinson getting set for the shot. Rebound! Smith knocked it away. Potvin is back on the ice. Now to the side of the net. The Canadians going after it. Robinson darts in on the right side. Now here's Smith. Shoved in on the boards by Trottier. Chelios winds up for the shot. Didn't have much on it. And the Islanders are going to lug it into the center ice area. Here's Potvin. Coming off second. And he hit the linesman, Hodges.
So the Islanders survived the 2 men short situation. 52 seconds left in the Brent Sutter penalty. There he is in the penalty box. For those of you tuning in, we've had a goal in this period by Deneen of the Islanders, who made it 3-1 early in this 3rd period.
You know what amazes me is the way the Canadians are willing to grind it out with the Islanders, hit for hit in the corners, but they are unwilling to get somebody in front of the net on a consistent basis.
And consistently in this series, Gillies has been in front of the net very effectively for the Islanders. Here is Hunter on the right side, trying to play it in. Islanders shooting it down the ice. And Brent Sutter, with 33 seconds left in his penalty, the Islanders are leading 3-1, and Robinson a feathery pass to the right side. Finally, Chelios had to swing at it. Couldn't catch up with it. Now Lafleur playing it to Walter. Back it goes. And Goring. Hard worker. And you know that time the Canadians Hunter thought he was going to be called. And so then over 15,000 Islanders supporters, they were convinced the penalty was to be called. Here's Pinelli on the ice. The penalty to Sutter has expired. So for 42 seconds, the Islanders were short-handed 2 players, and they played brilliantly. Canadians couldn't really get anything going. Trottier getting it back to Johnsson, closing it. Puck is in behind. Let's see. Do they keep it out? It is out on this side of the goal line.
They were that close to a 4-1 lead.
Excellent position by referee Bruce Hood.
So it's still 3-1 Islanders. Stanley Cup 84 resumes in just a moment.
Now when the thirst starts, it's gonna take a beer with heart. And you know that Molson Light will come through with a taste that is true. Right from the start, Molson Light has got heart. Molson Light has got heart. Its light taste has got heart. Heart! This one's got it.
Montreal goalie Steve Penny has asked for a new stick, so play has been held up here for just a moment. Gary, a look at that close call.
Well, look at Johnsson move in, move in. As long as nobody has challenged him, he'll just keep coming in closer and closer. An anxious moment for Penny as that puck is just hovering on that goal line. Will it Or won't it?
Well, he reacted well, falling down to his backside, but hanging on. But and look at Hood leaning over for as close a look as he can get.
Great shot, Ronnie Harrison and his crew, bringing you right inside the goal crease, almost at the goal line. So it is a 3-1 hockey game with the Islanders leading the Canadiens. Green is in there, jammed into the boards by Tonelli. Two very tough individuals push each other. Here come the Canadiens with Captain Gainey up on the left side. Let's see, can he get by young Deneen? Not in the manner that he wanted to. Deneen has a big goal here tonight, the number 1 goal of his very brief playoff activity. Out at the line. Hamel playing at the center. Tremblay is in on the line. Tremblay tried to feed it in front, and the Islanders block it and clear it up. Now up on the left side, Gainey, who never stops digging, goes in there, bumps Deneen. However, Gillies gathering some speed, coming down, in on the line. The shot blocked by Chelios. Here's Gainey at the line. Waited too long. He was checked by Gillies. And you know that the Islanders are going to try to suffocatingly stay on top of the Canadiens with that 2-goal lead. It's centered right out in front, but the Canadiens bring it out on the right side. Hunter shooting it in. Shot coming from the other side. It never got there. Morrow got it out. Ambidextrous. Chelios didn't do very well trying a left-hand shot, but he can shoot it both ways.
So it's 3-1 here. Let's check in to see what has been going on in Bloomington, Minnesota, with Jim Robson and Mickey Redmond.
At this time, I'd like to welcome the viewers to the Montreal Islander game here in Minnesota. We're early in the third period. We've played 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the second period. It's 1-0 on Jackson's goal early in the second period. North Stars in possession in the neutral zone. That's Kurt Giles.
Now it is Dwayne Sutter shooting it into Canadiens territory. Robinson back there. The Islanders leading by 2. Now it goes back to Corey. There's a shot. A big save by Steve Finney.
With the score, the New York Islanders 3, the Montreal Canadiens 1. We will return in just a moment.
Thousands of prizes every week to be won.
Our $5 chicken that is good for 5 strong.
Friday could be your day, good that could go your way. Play the provincial, the weekly provincial, yes sir.
500,000 is the weekly grand prize.
Instant prizes up to 5 grand inside.
So when you need a ticket, better get one today.
For the provincial lottery.
Dave Largevin of the Islanders has not come out with his team in this third period. He was injured in the first period, played in the second, a shoulder problem. And with Deneen seeing limited service, the Islanders, Gary, really going with just 4 defensemen right here.
Well, there's the shot by Goring that hurt Penny, and he needed some medical attention, but he's ready to go.
So Penny got it in some sensitive part of the anatomy. And what part of the anatomy isn't sensitive when the puck comes at 100 miles an hour? But these goalies are a pretty durable lot. Here's Robinson coming in. Robinson hops into the corner. Boudelier covering up Morrow, who has been prominent in a defensive fashion for the Islanders. Was right in there. Here's Boudelier clearing it out, but Tonelli was knocked off his stick. Boudelier again chased back there by Nally. We're down to 10 minutes and 27 seconds left. In the third period, Tonelli's pass goes off a leg. Islanders are making changes. Naslund takes the shot. He had to let it go from way out.
Well, time becoming a factor in this hockey game. 10:15 remaining in regulation time. Larry Robinson, again, a very large figure for the Canadiens. Watch this, Gary.
Good action. Just step out of the way, and then a little left to the head of Boudelier, and the battle goes on.
Lining up for the face-off to the left of Smith. And we have Smith of Montreal at center. Hunter on one wing, shot on the other. Ludwig, there you see a good close-up of Smith against the veteran Promptier. Ludwig is on the point along with Green, but the Islanders get the draw. Nystrom shooting it in there. Coming in from the left side, Carroll. In on the boards against Ludwig, who gave Nystrom an elbow. Nystrom will not forget that. Nystrom instead went after Smith. Here's Hunter. A lead pass for Shutt. Shutt over the line, dropping it back for Smith. Smith gets all tangled up, and he lost it. The Islanders very quick to pounce on it. Here's Caller cutting in on the left side. Short side save by Penny.
Anders Caller, who did not dress for the first couple of games of this series, pressed into service with injuries. And again, we repeat, the Islanders have run into another one tonight with Dave Lajebat back on the sideline. Bobby Smith hung on to the puck. He was set up and could have let one go from the deep slot. Selected to make a move, lost his balance, and the resulting fall led to this resulting rush and the stop by Penny off Caller.
The goaltending has been of a very high caliber. Score 3-1. The Islanders in front, and they are out shooting Montreal 23-21. Carbonneau failed to clear it out. Now Canadians get another chance. The pass was high by Tremblay. Johnsson moved up to send Montreal back in. Robinson almost lost it there to Keller. Up on the left side. Gainey winding up for the shot, and it's wide. Came back to the blue line. Carroll to Nystrom. Nystrom coming over on his wrong wing. Nystrom has been very quiet in the playoffs. He centered it right on in front. Carroll almost had a goal. Now it's at the lip of the crease, and Robinson lost it to Keller. Nystrom trying to center it. Pressure here by the Islanders with Keller, Carroll, and Nystrom. A makeshift line. Canadians coming down. There's McPhee with a shot. High. It was from a way out, but it gave Smith some difficulty.
8:43 left in regulation time. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Long Island.
Goes to your head.
Gee, we bring the thing to life.
Lining up for the face-off to the left of Smith. Walter is out there against Brent Sutter. Canadians getting the draw. Ludwig, a shot way wide. Keeping it in on the left side. Naslund trying to center it. Here's Bossy. Bossy has scored the go-ahead goal. Is passed off for Stick. Bossy gets it again. Bossy turning around. They're going to let him shoot. Apparently he takes the shot low and wide. Now Naslund at center. Walter goes to the bench. Naslund trying to shake off Deneen. Naslund around the net. Back it goes to Ludwig. There's a shot wide again. And Bossy playing it into the center ice area. Gilbert tried to pick it up on the left side. We're down to 7:55 left in regulation time. Brent Sutter handing it off to Bossy. He was jammed effectively by Ludwig. We get a face-off to the right of Penny.
Well, if the Canadians are going to get some goals now, they have to do it with with some strong forechecking, start taking a few chances, Dick. The shots that the Canadians are getting are from well out, just inside the blue line. Smith won't have any trouble with those. So I'm sure Lemaire wants his troops to get in there, defensemen pinch in, try to cause those giveaways. But you watch the Islanders, very, very rarely do they ever give you a good scoring chance from the slot. They force you to shoot from the perimeter.
Well, a familiar story, Gary, certainly with the Islanders whenever they have a lead like this in a tight hockey game. But we still have 7:48 left to play.
And the Canadiens are still a loose group. They're having a whale of a time in the playoffs. There's a lot of good-natured ribbing, a lot of jocularity among them. But then again, I suppose, from athletes, you would get jocularity. Ooh, there is a penalty.
Brian Trottier took a run in back behind the net. The Canadian player he made contact with is still down on the ice.
I think
Bob Gainey hasn't moved. Morrow and Nyland, who weren't involved in that particular episode, come together, and Trottier is being convoyed back to the penalty box area, and Guy Carbonneau is really giving it to Trottier as they are being separated by the linesman, D'Amico. Meanwhile, there is Bob Gainey coming to. Did Lefebvre right there, and this is a dicey moment for the Canadiens.
Now, Dick, that was a vicious check from behind. Gainey never did see that coming, and Trottier really took a run at him.
No, that's a bad one.
Wouldn't be surprised if he got 5 minutes for that one.
Well, Trottier and Morrow have gone to the penalty box on the Islanders side. Chris Nyland I saw being pushed toward the penalty box, and he is in, I believe, as we can't see him, below us, and everybody is standing up. Meanwhile, back in behind the Islander net, Bob Gainey still being attended to. All of this happening with 7.5 minutes left here in the third period of a 3-1 hockey game with the Islanders leading Montreal.
What hurt Gainey is he wasn't right against the boards, and when Trottier hit him, he was maybe 2 or 3 feet away. Now watch Gainey. He's away from the boards, trying to go for the puck, and then all of a sudden, there's the hit. Trottier had to run at him for about 20 feet.
Brian Trottier, 5 minutes boarding.
Brian Trottier does get a 5-minute penalty. You're right, Gary, for boarding. Nyland gets 2 minors, and Morrow gets a minor.
Trottier of the Islanders, 5 minutes for boarding.
So Gainey is talking to Rick Green and Gaetjen Lefebvre. He is woozy, but he is on his knees. And he is now being helped to his feet. Now you talk about the helmets when you see something like that as well. Live on CBC, this is Stanley Cup '84.
Olympic Weather Screen Oil Stain screens out the weather to give your home extra protection. Olympic Weather Screen has linseed oil and additives that penetrate wood and repel water. Extra Protection Weather Screen helps preserve the beauty of the wood. We have the inside on outside protection. Olympic.
Well, the Canadiens are very upset at the bench over the actions of Brian Trottier. Bob Gainey is on the bench. Being attended to. Again, the penalties. Trottier, a 5-minute boarding penalty. Morrow of the Islanders gets 2 for roughing, and Chris Nyland gets a double minor for roughing.
I could see that incident increasing the bitterness between these two teams. Let's hope it doesn't get out of hand.
Well, you have to feel sorry for Bob Gainey because he was in such a vulnerable position, and as you mentioned, Dick, it's a good thing he had the helmet on and he still got cut. But when you can't see the check coming, and you saw the run that Trottier took at him from behind,
not necessary, that's all.
It was not a very edifying and pretty sight. You don't like to see things of that nature. But now, we have the Canadiens on the power play. Gauthier with a 5-minute penalty, Nyland with 2 minors, and Morrow with a minor. Canadiens are down by 2 goals, and Smith is coming to the line. Plays it over to the right side. Robinson at the line. It's called on the offside. There was confusion and no cohesion there in the Canadiens' first power play attempt.
Okay, Gary, right here the Canadiens have a 4 skaters to 3 power play advantage. They will lose it when Morrow comes out of the box. Then they will get a minute's worth of power play after the Nyland double minor is over, all other things being equal.
Well, the 4-on-3, that's the situation you're looking for. But again, Dick, unless you're willing to muck it in the corners, come up with that loose puck and get somebody in front of the net, what good is it? I'm surprised that Lemaire hasn't used Robinson to set up a screen in front of his goaltender.
Now Robinson to Naslund, leading a 4-man attack for Montreal over the line. Naslund trying to get some skating room. Naslund is forced back. What's he going to do? He passes it into the corner to Walter. Back it goes to Naslund. He takes the look for Fleurs at the other side. Now it goes to Robinson. Robinson being chased to the other side. Canadiens not getting any shots. There's one. Billy Smith blocked it.
Puck was out of Bruce Hood's sight, Gary. It was free, but the referee had lost sight of it. Smith never did get possession of that puck as it came in.
Now Walter finally made up his mind to get in front, but there's the triangle set up by the New York Islanders, and Smith was able to pick up that shot with Ryan Walter in front of him.
So we have Morrow with 1 minute and 8 seconds. That'll be the time the Canadiens will have the advantage of 1 player with the proviso there are no further penalties. And then when Nyland has served his time, Gauthier will still have 1 minute to go. The Canadiens with it. Here's Robinson closing in for a shot, a drifting shot. It's blocked in front. And Potvin shoots it down the ice. Canadiens are not getting those good gilt-edged scoring opportunities, Gary.
They've had plenty of opportunities.
Now here's shut in on the left side. He's tied up in the corner. Smith is in there to help out. Smith gets it loose. Robinson is now in front. Here's Smith trying to jam it in. And Billy Smith had that one taken.
And what I meant by opportunities, I mean the number of power play attempts, not good scoring opportunities, because they just haven't been there.
Bobby Smith with a around-the-net try at the post. Scored a couple of goals early when he joined the Canadiens from Minnesota this way. Almost sneaked one in there.
Well, with that long reach of Bobby Smith, that certainly is an asset to him to be able to swing around like that.
To recap the penalties, Morrow has 36 seconds left to serve. That will end the Canadiens' present power play, unless they get one in between.
Chelios is now on with Lafleur, Mondu, and Naslund for Montreal. Potvin, Brent Sutter, and Janssen. And it's gone over the glass by Potvin. So we're down to 32 seconds left in the penalty to Morrow.
Well, there is Matt Naslund, and there is Bruce Hood, and they were involved in a dramatic moment in the second period when Hood awarded Naslund a penalty shot. With the score tied 1-1. Smith stopped Naslund, and a couple of minutes later, Mike Bossy put the Islanders ahead.
I agreed with Howie Meeker on that play that Naslund didn't really give it a very solid effort going in a one-on-one situation. A weak attempt, trying to go through the legs.
Generally, when he breaks in on a goal, he's going at a greater clip than he was going. He didn't pick up the speed, and he seemed to be a bit tentative. It was not, as Howie pointed out, a real good effort by Naslund. Now the Islanders back in their own zone. Janssen has Potvin on the left side. Canadiens having good trouble getting it. In over the line comes Sutter. After him is Chelios. 10 seconds left in the Morrow penalty. Now Montreal starting out led by Mondu, Lafleur, Naslund, and Chelios. It's dropped back to Lafleur. There's the shot. Rebound. And Potvin was there to assist Billy Smith very ably. Morrow's out of the penalty box. They're playing 5-a-side. Chelios coming in. Couldn't get a good shot away. Lost his stick. Now Naslin along the boards. Walter over the other side. And it hopped over Robinson's stick. In a minute and 35 seconds, the Canadiens will have the advantage. Naslin coming back in. Naslin around the net. Trying to center right out to Robinson. A shot. He was set up beautifully, and he fired it wide. Boudelier covering up, along with Tonelli and Walter.
And let's switch to the Sports Center in Bloomington, Minnesota, where the Oilers are meeting the North Stars. Here is Jim Robson.
Ferguson cleared it, not out. Kevin Lowe moving in. Centered it. Loose puck. They score. Jenny Linsman. And it's 2-0 Edmonton.
Well, Chico, another giveaway, if you will. George Ferguson had control of the puck in the North Star zone, and it was a great play. First it was Jackson earlier in the hockey game. This time it was Kevin Lowe who kept the puck in, a give and go with Curry, and he was checked at the last minute, but guess what? There's another Oiler there. It's Linsman, and he just pulled the puck back in front. Joe Malas had no chance in the play.
Here's Green winding up for the shot wide. And it's Tonelli lugging it into the center ice area, hounding him his shot. Tonelli is playing it over to Boudelier. They can afford to kill off seconds, not to accentuate the offensive aspect of the game, even though they're playing even manpower wise, because the Islanders have the 2-goal lead at the line. Good work by Tonelli. Bossy trying to get in front. In behind the net, Bossy has it. Bossy right back in front. It comes to Morrow. At the line. Boudelier shot. No difficulty for Penny. Here's Robinson. Into the center ice area. Robinson over the line. Dropping it back. And the Islanders pick it up. Here's Goring. Down. Digging diligently over the line. Had that been on the target, that would have been over the shoulder. Into the net. Now Potvin. He's in over the line. Takes a shot wide. Morrow. Islanders trying to stay on top of the Canadiens, not give them the opportunity to break out. A 2-goal lead for the Islanders. And now Montreal with the advantage. Trottier is still in the penalty box. This may be the last opportunity for Montreal. Naslin is in over the line, gives it to Mondu. Backhand shot by Naslin. That was blocked there by Goring. Two great scoring opportunities. Ludwig is shot. Blocked by Moore. Right in front of Mondu. Loose puck. And the Islanders shoot it down the ice. Trottier has 19 seconds remaining. Kellyos on the left side. Deneen clearing it into the center ice area. And Robinson is there for Montreal, playing it ahead in over the line. 3-1. Here's Smith trying to clear it in front. It rolls into Smith. And perhaps Smith of the Canadiens could have shot the puck.
Our Stanley Cup playoff action continues in just a moment.
Why does new Ford Temple surprise people? We asked Bob Lindley about the size.
I'm 6'6", and I'm very comfortable in the Tempo.
We asked Michael Whaley about performance.
The Tempo is the best front-wheel drive car I've ever driven.
We asked Ken Reeves about the quality.
Just by taking it out for a drive, you feel that there's quality in that car, that somebody cared about making it.
A new Ford Tempo. Have you driven the best-built North American cars? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Ford surprised me.
With 2:27 left in regulation time. Butch Goring on the bench. What a defensive play he made right here, blocking the shot. That's Naslin on the backhand. Goring made the save.
And now Edmonton leading Minnesota 2-1. 8 minutes left at the third period. However, we'll be bringing you up to date very accurately on that game between Edmonton and Minnesota. However, right now we are interested in this game because it is 3-1 and time has to be bothered right now because exactly 2 minutes left, and the Islanders are leading by 1. And Montreal's downfall, we're going to have penalties here. Montreal's downfall, Gary, has to be their inability to do anything on the power play.
You're absolutely right, Danny. They had plenty of power play chances, but when you can't come up with a puck in the offensive zone and set up some plays, but it's been a swarming defense again by the New York Islanders. Their penalty killing has been very good.
So we have penalties here on Carbonneau and Mossy. Let's again go and join Jim Robson in Minnesota.
Well, to Roberts. Ciccarelli shoots. Score! Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli finally dents the armor of Grant Fjord just inside that goalpost from the top of the circle, 45 feet out. It's just beside the blocker, Chico. Yeah, do you think?
A minute and 40 seconds left in regulation time. Trottier going after Robinson. The Islanders leading by 2, 3-1. Robinson headmanning that clock. It goes right down to Smith. And it is called the penalty. Carbonneau high sticking, Bossy elbowing, and that was a pretty good elbow by a Lady Binger.
That used to be my favorite. So when you're 6'2", you throw the elbow.
Lady Bing, though.
No, I never. Are you kidding? What is that?
125. Pensive and disappointed, no doubt. The Jacques Lemaire along with Jacques Laperriere. That at this stage in the hockey game, every indicator has it that the Islanders are going to win this one and tie up the series. 5th game in Montreal on Thursday. Now Sutter is shooting it in there. And some of this sellout crowd of 15,861 beginning to go toward the exit. We're down to 1 minute left. Canadiens with Mondeau ripping it in there. Long shot. Potvin to the other side to Gilbert. Gilbert clears it out over the line. Hamel taking over. Now they're beginning to sing here at the Coliseum. That's becoming a universal fad in the National Hockey League. Let's listen for a moment. Now Morrow into the center ice area. 25 seconds left. Penalty coming up. Bruce Hood has indicated that it's going to be a slashing penalty.
Mark Hunter is involved. This all coming with 20 seconds left here in the 3rd period. Canelli and Bobby Smith in a verbal battle at fairly long range.
A lot of ill feelings between the two teams right now. We've seen a few cheap shots, and I'm sure that'll carry over when the teams resume back in Montreal on Thursday night.
Well, Gary, you know what the most talked about incident in this game will be when it's all over? The Trottier-Gainey situation. Guaranteed.
Series. That's what it's been. Both teams winning at home. The Canadiens, they did come up with a very good effort. They matched the Islanders hit for hit, but Dick and Dan, you hit it right on the head of the nail when you said the inability on the power play. You know, you have to capitalize on your specialty teams. Canadiens were unable to do that.
And I imagine at the workout tomorrow, that'll get a lot of attention. Now the Islanders, everybody out. 16 seconds of time remaining. Goring looking for it. Gets it back. And Morrow strides leisurely back there. He looks at the clock. The countdown. 3, 2, 1. It's all over. The Islanders win. Canadiens won the series tie at 2.
Billy the New York Islanders. I guess the game would be turned around when he stopped on the penalty shot.
So we have a tie series here with the Islanders beating the Canadiens 3-1. Game 5 in Montreal Thursday. Now, once again, let's check in as the Oilers beat the North Stars in Minnesota.
At this time, I'd like to welcome the viewers of the 3-1 Islander victory over the Montreal Canadiens that tied their series tonight. And here at the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota, 3 minutes, 38 seconds left in the third period. Edmonton led 1-0 after 2. Don Jackson scoring early in the second period. Ken Linsman scored on a power play at 7:38 of this third period when Minnesota had a penalty for too many men on the ice. Dino Ciccarelli then finally got the puck behind Grant Fuhr at 10:35, and it's 2-1 Edmonton. I'm Jim Robson with Mickey Redmond, Chica Rush, and Dave Hodge on the Hockey Night in Canada crew here in Minnesota. An excellent, exciting hockey game. The Oilers now are 3 minutes and 5 seconds away from a 4-game sweep. They have outshot Minnesota 31-24 so far in the game. Goaltenders Fuhr and Meloche have been outstanding. Steve Payne intercepted, brought out by Dave Hunter, number 12 of the Oilers. Now Levy, the flex. Jackson took him out. Yari Curie gets the puck, flips it high. It has been a clean game, but we've had one scrap, Anderson and Ciccarelli, and they were tossed out. With just under 6 minutes left in the third period, as in comes Curry to Gretzky, and Meloche stops Gretzky's shot. Gretzky's been held without a point tonight, and that's news. Willie Plett passing it off, going for the front of the net. And again, it was broken up by Kevin Lowe in front of his goal. Curry coming in with Gretzky. Curry, weak shot, turned aside. 2 minutes left. Hoagland lost the puck. Maruk brings it in, but he's away offside. 1:51 left, and it's exciting.
It sure is. I think Ron Finn, the linesman, might have made the big check of the game. Napier streaking down the boards. Wasn't Ron Finn the linesman's fault, but the puck got caught in his skates, and otherwise I think maybe Mark would have been home free.
Looked like he may have had the angle on the Edmonton defenseman Fogelin. Here's a look at it. No question that he may have gotten around it, but Fogelin had a pretty good bite on him too. And it's going to take quite a flagrant foul here now with only 1:51 to go, but for Ron Wex to call a penalty. Keep our eye on Joe Meloche at the other end. Bill Mahoney plots his strategy behind that North Star bench.
Oilers 2, North Stars 1. 1:45 left in the clock. First period was scoreless. Edmonton led 1-0 after 2. Have never trailed. 1:34 left as Payne couldn't get by the blue line. Now Acton brings it in. He's checked. Kevin Lowe gets the puck. Acton was held up back of the play, and that's why the crowd is booing. Roberts gets it to Payne, to Bellows. Ryan Bellows coming in. Meloche goes to the bench. 6 attackers for Minnesota. Their goaltender is out. 1:10 left. And there'll be a face-off in the Edmonton zone.
This is what it's all about. I'm sure we're going to get a timeout by one of the coaches here. 1:08 to go. Meloche is on the bench. And the face-off will be deep in the Edmonton zone. Indeed, Minnesota has called the timeout to give their offensive shooters a rest.
Glenn Sather and his assistant John Muckler behind him there. Looks pretty cool in the situation. Mind you, he's leading the series 3-0. And he's got a lead of 2-1. But it's been an excellent hockey game.
Sure has, and I'll tell you how relaxed Ben Sather was. He was underneath the stands here trying out these new Skeeter roller skates before the game, and did pretty well, and he's pretty relaxed. I don't think Mr. Mahoney is quite as relaxed. With 1:08 left, he's got to formulate some sort of plan, although they're not really, doesn't seem to be going over anything special. But I think they've got to try and spring someone loose where they can move it to an open man.
Key here, Chico, you see when they line up on that faceoff, there'll probably be 3 Oilers in front of the net. with the face-off guy and one on the boards. Minnesota's got to cover those three guys in front so they can't get loose as the North Stars try to draw that puck back into the slot. We'll wait and see who the trigger man will be on the play.
Messier will take the draw for Edmonton.
Could very possibly be Brad Maxwell, the big defenseman with a good shot.
You see, I would think if they had someone over here, say a left-handed shot, who could one-time it off this right side.
Marouk got the draw. Behind the net, Marouk try to center it. The last minute, a shot in the crowd. The net is empty. Gretzky has an empty net. He passes to Curry, who scores with 49 seconds left. 3-1 Oilers.
Well, I'll tell you what, this hockey game may be over, Chico, but Grant Fuhr at the other end, I'm sure, just made a stop through a scramble off the face-off. I don't know if he saw it. It sounded from up here like it hit his stick, and it deflected way out into the crease right there, where three Oilers jumped on it. Messier just popped it up, and Gretzky threw it over to Curry, who just jumped it in the open net, but the North Stars had two excellent chances to tie this hockey game. Now watch this. The shot right there, and it did. I think it got right off the goal stick, came from Payne way back at the point, and there had to be 7 guys in front of Grant Fuhr. Somehow he kept it out.
Again, he won't get an assist on that goal, but I'll bet you any money that he actually tried to kick that puck out, knowing with all the traffic in front of it dropped in close, he might be in trouble.
I'll tell you what, even though the Oilers are out shooting the Stars 33-24, Grant Fuhr has been a story in this hockey game. He has kept the Oilers in.
That is the 13th goal of the playoffs for Yari Curry, leading the Stanley Cup playoffs in goals. Gretzky and Messier get assists at 19-11. An empty net goal, and the Oilers will fly home in a charter tonight and rest for the next round as in comes Broughton, didn't get a shot. The Stanley Cup final will likely open on the 10th of May in either Montreal or Long Island, and the Oilers will rest until then as they're 3 seconds away from wrapping up the Minnesota North Stars season. The game is over. Edmonton 3, Minnesota 1, a 4-game sweep for the Edmonton Oilers.
Whoever they play in the finals, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the goalies. And I think Grant tonight can really feel good and almost look forward to the next game, as did Andy Moog the last game. And I think that's a big plus for the Oilers. If they're still going to win this thing all the way, they're going to have to get strong goaltending.
Well, I was going to say, Chico, that they got both guys, and it's a nice position for Sather to be in, to have either one go in there. And a fine hand by the people here at the Met Center for their North Stars as they congratulate the Oilers. There is Grant Fuhr. 25 shots on goal, 24 saves for Fuhr. And a lot of those shots were excellent scoring chances by the North Stars. And I'll tell you what, it may be a 4-game sweep, but the Minnesota North Star Hockey Club did not use injuries as a crutch in this series. And I don't know if I've ever seen a hockey team as banged up as they have been. And they certainly credited themselves very well here tonight. They did not quit. They were in the hockey game. They come out with that defensive type plan, and it sure shut down the Oiler machine. And they had an opportunity right to the end.
Clarence Campbell Bowl, you saw a glimpse of, will be presented to the Edmonton Oilers for the 2nd consecutive year. And they're a much more rested team going into the Stanley Cup final this time around.
Well, Chico, we talked about Grant Fuhr playing well. Joe Malas certainly has to be very proud of himself. He played a strong hockey game, even in a losing cause, to come in. He's only playing in his 4th playoff game of this 84 playoff. Wayne Gretzky.
Brian O'Neill
down there receiving the Campbell Bowl.
I'm sure they enjoy that, but that's not really what they're after, is it?
He'll take it. The Stanley Cup is the next target for this fine young Edmonton team. In just a moment, our Molson 3-star selection.
I may not win every race, but I still have an advantage over these guys. I use the Gillette Atra. They don't. It has the advantage of a pivoting head. Atra is better than twin blade razors that don't pivot. See? They don't always stay on my beard, but my Atra pivots to keep both blades on my beard longer. So I get a better shave. Close, comfortable.
Get the Gillette Atra and get the Atra advantage.
Hey, everyone can use a little advantage.
Oh, no, I dropped it. It's broken. Can't somebody make a flashlight that'll work when you need it?
Duracell just did. Introducing DuraBeam, a flashlight that really works when you need it. DuraBeam's casing is as tough as a football helmet. The lens is shatterproof. It'll throw a light 50% brighter than ordinary flashlights. And obviously, it's weatherproof. Ask him how important that is. DuraBeam, new from Duracell. It really works when you need it.
For richer or poorer, the legacy of broken marriages. How can a divorced husband be made to support the family he leaves behind? Alimony, tonight on The Journal.
Back at the Nassau County Coliseum, it's Brian McFarland. The final score, Islanders 3, Montreal 1. The Islanders squared the series at 2 games apiece. First period was rather even, Steven. In the second period, Bossy put the Islanders in front, scoring as only Bossy can, and he hasn't been a big scoring threat throughout the playoffs this year. Turning point in that period and in the game, a missed penalty shot by Montreal's Mats Naslund against Billy Smith. Everybody in the building knew that Naslund was going to deke, apparently, including Smith, made an easy stop of it. Then in the third, a little insurance for the Islanders as young Gord Dineen scored from Tonelli at 2:24. The Islanders were 2 men short for 42 seconds. Again, the Montreal power play failed them. A devastating check on Bob Gainley by Trottier late in the game left the Montreal captain groggy. 3-1 the score. The 3 stars of the game, Billy Smith, star number 1, his 116th playoff game, allowed just 1 goal tonight, his 82nd win. Both are Stanley Cup playoff records. Star number 2, John Tonelli, 1 assist tonight and a tireless worker. Star number 3, Montreal's Chris Chelios, judged the best of the Habs. Howie Meeker standing by. We'll have more on Stanley Cup 84 in a moment.
Slim, rich Loris quartz. No wonder more and more people date on Loris Time. Look great on Loris Time. It's elegant quality quartz. All quartz at $12.95 to $74.95. Now, people make a splash on Loris Time with many styles water-resistant to 50 or 100 meters, including dual display at $69.95. So wake up, Canada, to Loris Quartz clocks and watches. They're everything except expensive.
Today's smart money. Do you know where it's going? It's coming to Continental Bank, where we use advanced new business and personal banking systems to make sure your money is always in action. Continental Bank of Canada, bankers in action.
Esso Motor Oils, tested on the longest road in the world, where the heat can fry you, or the cold freeze you solid. That road begins here at the Esso Research Center, where Esso Motor Oils are driven to the limit to give you the great engine defense you want. Efficient engine performance, longer engine life. Where does this road end? For Esso, it never does. It's coming through for you that makes us better.
How to build an expensive radial tire. You build it tough. So tough it meets or exceeds national brand specifications. You build it to last with a 5-year road hazard guarantee. In fact, you build a tire so good it can do something you might not have thought possible. It can replace one or all of the present radials in your car, no matter what brand they are. That's the way we build every Canadian Tire radial tire. It's everything an expensive tire should be, except expensive.
Islanders over Montreal 3-1 on Long Island. Same score in Minnesota tonight as Grant Fuhrer was the #1 star of that hockey game. And this series is tied 2 games apiece, the Islanders and Montreal. I'm here again with Howie Meeker. Quite a hockey game, Howie. And now the question is, can Montreal stop the Islanders' momentum back on home ice?
Well, they played fairly well tonight, but certainly I think finally that the Islanders, their strength, their big guns, their scoring power, their goaltending, and maybe that Potvin on defense has sort of caught up to them a little bit. But I still think it's a 50-50 chance. Either team can still win this, and I think the Canadiens just might be able to do it.
Give us a little hockey lesson on the telestrator now.
Hey, what a super goal by Dineen. But, you know, I watched that goal, the replay of it, and I saw 1 Islander, 2 Islanders, 3 Islanders, and I said all of a sudden, now, where the heck are all the Montreal Canadiens? We're going to show you how a simple basic rule was broken. The Montreal Canadiens, this is the Islanders' zone. There are 2 players behind the net and the third one here. And the third one starts in behind. Can you imagine in the National Hockey League, 3 guys caught behind the net? I can just see Lemaire. No, 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 no. Okay, let's turn it and roll it, and we'll stop and go from there. This is up in the other end, Islander end. Okay, let it go. Now, there are 2 Canadians behind the net, and the third one is where he should be, 15 feet out. But look at right here, any minor hockey league coach in the country has to say, hey, 3 men never caught anywhere at all. The Canadians come up with it and pass it in front of the net. I don't know who they expected to be there because the other 2 are there. Now, Tonelli, watch this down the wing. I didn't think this guy could motor like this. All right, slow it down. Tonelli has to be attacked right here. You can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. Stop it. You see what has happened? The winger has come in back in here. This fella had to go with him. Now, there's all this great open ice out in here. And look at the top of your screen. Again, I can see Lemaire saying, the trailer, the trailer, the trailer. Pick up the trailer. Don't look at the guy with the puck. Dineen comes in, and look at right in front of the net, there's the big screen. Dineen just walks in and puts it on the short side up high. Penny just didn't have a chance on it at all. Might have stood up. But I was just amazed the way that Tonelli flew down that wing.
And you should have heard what Lemaire say after the goal went in. You're not going to tell him about that. Anyway, good play. Another observation on the game. What did you think about the check on Gainey by Trottier? I'm sure everybody's interested in your observation there.
Well, you don't like to see that happen, but I'll tell you, that's the type of things that wins your team hockey games and championships. You know, there's a tremendous amount of bodily contact, personal abuse of fellas running at each other out there, but in between all the toughness, folks, some great mental and some great skills being exhibited, and I just think that's the key to winning.
Okay, will Trottier be a bit of a marked man in Game 5 back at the Montreal Forum because of that check tonight?
He should have been right at that game. I was disappointed that someone didn't take out after him right there and there. That had to be settled. There's no way in the world the leader of the other club takes your leader, punishes them physically, and nobody goes at him. They had to go at him with everything they had in their hands.
Thanks, Howie. Good job tonight. Our Stanley Cup wrap-up continues shortly.
The Hot Value Capri. You won't believe it.
Driving is believing.
Capri and Capri GS sport over $800 worth of options at no extra cost when you buy power steering. You get AM, FM stereo, premium sound system, light group, interval wipers, tinted glass, right-hand remote mirror, tilt steering wheel, all at no extra cost. Over $800 worth of options when you buy power steering.
Believe it.
Mercury Capri. Driving is believing.
Off to put out another fire, Griswold?
Well, Chief, I found that
I assume you called first?
Right, flights booked.
Oh?
Cars rented.
Oh?
Got the best room in town.
I see.
And Max has reserved my usual table.
And?
And then I called our customer and straightened out the whole mess by long distance.
Stick around, Griswold. You'll go far.
Business long distance. Today's way to operate.
The stands weren't exactly crowded when perhaps the most significant game in the long history of baseball was played. What made it so significant? Well, it certainly wasn't the baseball. No, it was the time of day, nightfall. For it was on this night in 1924 that a small group of General Electric engineers ushered in the era of night baseball and made possible for us all the many brilliant nights to come.
Cooper XL7. Strong to provide ultimate protection. The liner molds to your head, giving you maximum comfort. A ventilation system designed to keep you cool with no excess weight to slow you down. It adjusts to size in seconds with the unique Cooper lock. The steel face guard attaches easily with a new clip system. The world plays hockey with Cooper.
Last year, for the first time, Americans were picked first and third in the NHL draft. What will be the story this year in the '84 draft, June 9th in Montreal? Well, no doubt one story will be the sensational Mario Lemieux from Laval, who has rewritten the junior record books in the province of Quebec. For the first time, Canadian viewers will be able to follow their favorite team's selections as Sports Weekend brings you a television first. It's live coverage of the NHL draft from the Montreal Forum. See it Saturday, June 9th.
The The Montreal Canadiens lost 3-1 to the Islanders tonight here on Long Island, so the series is tied at 2, and the 5th game in the series, as you all know by now, back at the Montreal Forum, 8 o'clock on Thursday night. They go back even, and the 3 stars tonight were Billy Smith, John Tonelli, and Chris Chelios. Scoring for the Islanders were Janssen, Bossy, and Deneen. Schutt got the only Montreal goal, and now this is Brian McFarland bidding you good night for Stanley Cup 84 from Long Island.
Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Molson Brewery, brewers of Molson Canadian, bringing you the finest in hockey broadcasting for over 25 years. Canadian Tire. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires. Canadian General Electric. We bring good things to life. Esso. You make us better. And by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one. Driving is believing. Hockey Night in Canada is a CBC Sports presentation produced in cooperation with Canadian Sports Network.